Right, that was a rough start, man. Well, I'm getting used to it gradually. The new approach. How are you doing, JC? You feeling good? You think you still have a lot of questions? How are you doing? More importantly, can you hear me, JC? Are you there? All right. While I wait for him to join me, I'm gonna go through what we have in the chat whenever he's ready to speak. I'm gonna be taking one panelist at a time, making us two panelists at the same time on the panel. Sorry for the rough start. We won. I told you, Coach, we are going to win. Yep. All the what did you say? Where are all the Chelsea haters? Yep. I wanted us to win, even if I have questions. With regards to the manager's tactical ability, that's nothing. The win is important because 3 points could mean us battling us to survive relegation or us making it to top four, if that makes sense. Smash the like button, people, and please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. We look at the numbers, we look at the players today, and I'll get your opinion. If you're in the chat, if you want to join the panel, you have to be on camera. If you're not, if I haven't seen you before, you have to be on camera for you to be allowed in. Now it's a two-way process. So, but that's by the way. Again, keep smashing the like button and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We needed that win. Hopefully, we can get a few wins more. Yeah, Francis Witness. More importantly, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time uh, to join the show. I sincerely do appreciate that. It's been a minute. Yep, we needed that one. Dante, finally a win. Formation worked with the front three interchangeable, but my God, the finishing still not good. Here's the thing: even if when he was in the front three, when he was 4-2, 3-1 structure, the finishing we weren't clinical in front of goal. Plus, it was still interchangeable. Maybe easier this time because it was just more like a flat three rather than a 3-1 or so. Then you have a bit of confusion there. Maybe I'm not sure if that was the case. Valley says a big up, Kuchila, big up to you too. I hope you're doing well. Let's go, Rahayu. If you're in the chat, I'm interested to see how you feel about the win. Whether that puts an end to the questions you have over Graham Potter. I want to know. Please change back to original background. Sound was much better. I'm not sure what you mean by original background. Okay, when the music stopped, was that what you're talking about? It was a mistake. I didn't mean to stop it then. Big up Blues, 3 points. Getting Potter just cannot get anything right. Wins the game when everyone is hoping he gets sacked for having lost it. Here's the thing: what I didn't think he was going to get sacked, even if we lost this game. Yeah, I thought maybe I've always thought. I think the whole thing comes down to the Dortmund game, because my argument is that, and truthfully, he's done better in Euro. Maybe they look at him and say maybe he can win the Champions League given how well the team has done in Europe. So I'm not sure. But that's by the way. 3 points. Here we go. Yep, 3 points taken. It means a lot. Havertz and Gallagher really. Well, I don't know. Up to Charles Potter out. Okay, and Hushford. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't take Havertz off seriously. And somebody in a previous show 2 days ago also said Havertz was going to play 90 minutes. And lo and behold, it happened just as the person said it. Potter out. The guy has some guts to shut off the game after 1-0, packing that midfield and saying no thanks to Leeds advances. Here's the thing. I think it doesn't hurt to be a bit pragmatic. And believe me, the win will go a long way. And I think he realized that. He doesn't want to risk going for a second goal and then we end up conceding, because that's how you solve this sort of problem. That's how you solve the situation where you're winning a game, but every time you seem to concede goals let into the game, you be a bit pragmatic. Get the win, call it one win in how many matches you want to call it, but it will go a long way for the confidence of the player and the manager himself. But more importantly, I want my team to win, even though I don't trust the manager. Let me just put it that way. I wouldn't say I don't like him because it would sound more personal. But when I say I don't trust him, it comes down to his tactical ability and all that. And Mikhail, by the way, big up to you, brother. Sorry I didn't say hi to you. I hope you're doing well. Yep. Where did I stop? Where did I stop? Yeah, I read this one, and this one here. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't take off his that. This one here too. Potter out, but hey, yeah, I've read that one too. And this one, King. So how are you doing, Chelsea? Chelsea can win now. Surprisingly, we scored a goal too, and we haven't scored one in a while. No, the entry music before going live, Coach. You liked it or you didn't like it? Is that what you're saying? I'm not sure what you're saying. You have to be specific. It certainly doesn't put an end to the Potter route. Happy he changed the formation, but the changes during the game, as usual, not good. Yeah, questionable changes if that makes sense to you. Porter loves that, like Roger loves a Porter. That's another way to put it. But that's, by the way, Dante laughing. We finally won, Coach. 3 points. Yep, that's all that matters to me. Porter survives again. I don't think they would not. Believe me, I don't think they would have fired him had we lost this game. I don't think so. I think the whole thing will be. I think they wait until the Dortmund game. If we're able to overcome the deficit and progress to the quarterfinal stage of the Champions League, they will keep him. But I think that one is when you can say if we lose, if we get knocked out of the Champions League, then he's gone practically. If that makes sense. Big up to you too, brother. So I'm gonna come back to you, JC. How are you doing? I hope you're ready to talk now. You look like you struggled with your equipment or so. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, just quickly, one or two panelists at a time. So let me get your thoughts on the game overall. You go ahead.
Hi,
You have the
hello,
floor.
hello, Coach Shai. Well, I think uh, considering the circumstances and amount of pressure there was before the game, Chelsea were okay. Especially I think until the minute 65, Chelsea were comfortable.
Mhm.
There were enough chances created for 1-0 win. I think there was one crossbar and then a brilliant save by their goalkeeper from Kai Havertz. I think we went back to Tuchel's ways, like back three, and saw similarities in the structure and the movements. We didn't have a number nine. We had three midfielders, and they had more space, and they were rotating. So in general, it was a good win, good play, but still have some reservations because I didn't understand like initial substitutions. Why to take substitute Sterling and Joao Felix when the score is only 1-0? But okay, I get it. Maybe because of the pressures and like he wanted to shut the shop. But still, I mean that those substitutions changed the balance of the team a little bit. And for 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, we struggled. There was no control. The balls were flying around, and it could easily have hurt us. But then Potter made more changes, and in the end, it became a scrap and totally. But frankly, happy for the win. Would have loved more control, but still a good win, and
Mhm.
hopefully we move on from here. So
Yeah, there were on a few occasions I thought they were going to get an equalizer. Even most people thought that was going to happen because towards the end of the game we were a bit shaky, give away the ball unnecessarily. The question I want to ask you, just quickly, since you have a few minutes, I don't know how many minutes into the time you told me you have. I think about six or so. Your thoughts? Do you think he keeps his job because of solely because of this win, or do you think it's just it was never going to be about this game?
no, I do. I think our board supports him so much that he's not going anywhere. He's not
Mhm.
going there, and it's like this win gives him another, I don't know, 4 or 5 games, at least 5 or 6.
For
If he
5 years,
yeah, if unless he loses the next 6 games, I don't think he goes,
you
and I
don't
think
think
he will be
even
fine.
getting knocked out of the Champions League would will get them to say that's it, we're done.
No, I don't think so. I mean, people. I mean, they can say, and people will understand. It's Dortmund. We are out of form, and like. okay, it's a rebuild season, things like that.
Hmm.
I mean, losing to Southampton is bad. Losing to Leeds would have been bad, but losing to Dortmund, I don't think like it will be a catastrophe for him or something. So I don't think he is going anywhere. But I also do believe that we will start winning some more games now.
Hmm.
And I think for sure we should also. One more take I wanted to mention. I saw a few balls. Kai Havertz played from midfield in the first half. There was a pitch of a ball for Chilwell. He's a brilliant midfielder. I think
Oh yeah,
if
brilliant point. I think he could do well playing in behind whoever is going to be the number 9. Yeah, I think people don't give him enough credit because he's a creator really. He's actually one of the better passer of the ball than most of the players we have in the team. But good point. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think for this game, I mean, Potter went without any 9, but there were 3 midfielders exchanging positions, trying to be creative, creating movements and all. So I get that idea. But Kai for sole number 9 alone up front. No. I think Kai is being played not to according to his strengths. So, but in this system, I can understand him playing in that role. I
Yeah,
can understand the.
even in a fluid approach, I don't think it makes sense to play him as a number 9 to start him there.
No. I think these 3 are our best attacking midfielders, like Joao Felix,
Hmm.
Sterling, and Kai Havertz. The 3 are our best attacking midfielders. Now, if we have to play only midfielders, then I get it. All these 3 are really good at it. But if you want to put any one of them as a striker, I mean, of course, a specialized striker is better than any 3 of them.
All right, let me
So
ask you this quickly before you leave. If you want to add anything else, if you go ahead, and if you're in the chat, if you want to join the panel for 5, 10, 2, 15 minutes, up to you. Any positives for you?
yeah, sure. I mean, we saw some stability, some movements, a structure. Okay, I mean, you can call it. We were back to our back 3 system, which has been the DNA of Chelsea for the last 2 years, 1.5 years. So it's understandable, and we have the players coming back as well from injury. So this structure suits us. We know it, and Chelsea looked more in control of the game. I mean, okay, you can argue like it's not exciting like football or very extravagant football, but we were totally in control of the game until I would say the substitution started, and then you can argue after that about the game, whatever. But until the substitutions, I think Chelsea were totally in control. There were no clear chances for Leeds, and we were totally bossing the game
And
and
possibly you
creating.
could say right now, we Chelsea fans were hard to please because we're looking for excuses to blame the manager. Even though I have questions, the truth remains I want him. I want another manager, and not him. I don't trust him anymore. But one more question, if you still have time, your thoughts on how well do you think Ruben Loftus-cheek he did well? I think for me, I think he didn't do really well. He didn't execute the role like he did against Real Madrid or some other time he's played there under Thomas Tuchel. But your thoughts, how did he do today in your eyes?
Oh, I think he was good. He was going really good going forward. I mean, the crosses were not like Reece James, but definitely going forward, he was good. He was fast, but he's not a defender. So asking him to do also a good defensive job as a right wing back, I think he was exposed a couple of times, 2 3 times, and then he was run by. He was run bypassed a few times, which was like. But then he's not a defender, so I think Reece James is not available. So I think
Hmm.
he was the best. Well, if you ask me, I think I would have tried to have my first substitution might have been to bring Chilwell in place of Reece James, or maybe like not removing Reece James, but adding that strength, because that was the area where defensively a few times we got exposed because Reece James, Ruben Loftus-cheek is was good, very good going forward, uh, but overall good, I would say that. But a couple
Here's
of
the
times
thing.
exposed defensively.
Yeah, I think the manager could have placed someone else there, but he was started with an attacking intent, not to defend. but
Yes.
still he did a good job defensively. Your man of the match and why? And then I'll let you go. And I appreciate you finding time to join. Once again, JC leaves the room. If you want to join the panel, you let me know. We'll find a way to get you the link. Unfortunately, I don't know how, but again, since you're not part of the panelist group, I'd have to see you on camera before I let you in. So your man of the match on our end and why?
Oh, without doubt, Fofana. Huh? He had a fantastic game, very athletic, scored the goal, brought much more to the game, and I think
Mm.
he clearly was our best player on the pitch today. Huh?
Yeah, he had an excellent game. And this is bear in mind that he hasn't played for a while. He hasn't played full time for a while. So yeah, an excellent game indeed. And I hope long may that continue, as Mikhail may say. I hope he doesn't get injured again. He's a fine player overall. So JP, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join this morning for you probably. I know it's you should be sleeping right now, but I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much, brother. Here we have AB says a big up, Coachella, big up to you too. Okay, I heard you. I'll do something about it, or maybe I'll put up a poll to see what the people like. But thank you so much. Here, Chama Joseph says hello, Coachella in the house. That already I can see. Yeah, that reflects the fact that you're very happy. Probably, but your brother will be the happier of the two of you because they won a game that you probably thought they were going to lose. There were 2 goals down. They got equalized, and then dying minute they scored an excellent goal from outside the box. But that's, by the way, we're here to talk Chelsea. But Chama, more importantly, I hope you're doing well. Lala, my Barcelona friends, said big up coach and Blues. I hope you are all doing well, friends. I guess a lot of people are doing well. But I'm sure, like I've heard myself, a lot of people wanted us to lose this game to see if that will lead to the high club's hierarchy, letting the manager go. But I've always said I don't think this game will be the last. I think they probably wait and see how we do against Dortmund. If we get knocked out, maybe. Remember, for how many games now we've been saying if we lose this one, he's gone. If we lose this one, he's gone. And the man is still there. Let us gather here and celebrate Chelsea win. Yes, let's do that, people. Keep liking the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to those of you who are watching and cannot participate in the chat. If you can just take a second and drop a like on the stream, the likes do go a long way. So thank you so much. Kovacic played really well, I must say. He played excellently. He was actually one of our best players on the day. I would say this. He actually played better than Enzo Fernandez. He looked at his best today, probably because he had the responsibility. He had the armband. Maybe that made a difference because I haven't seen him this good in a while. He was excellent and reached the game from the perspective of progressing the ball. He read the game very well and knew what direction to go. Didn't pass backwards that much and was always available for the ball. He made me realize, okay, we can actually do without Jorginho, but he has to be on the pitch. But still, I'd rather it be a pairing of Kovacic and Zakaria or Zakaria in Enzo Fernandez because Kovacic and Fernandez, they don't differ that much. The only difference is one of them is good at progressing the ball no matter the situation and finds solutions in tight spaces. The other one is more defensively sound in Enzo Fernandez. So yeah, but Graham Potter, like I've always argued, he doesn't seem to like to play with traditional sixes or so, what you call a CDMs or so. Yeah, but that's by the way. In retrospect, now that the euphoria of the 3 points is past, the question remains: had Fofana not scored from the corner, what would the result? And our state of minds be right now? Here's the thing: the outcome of the game was never gonna affect my mood. I wanted my team to win, but I wasn't really expecting us to win. I was just waiting to see, okay, whatever happens, I'll take it because we're right now, and I don't expect too much of the team. So that was why even if we won, and it wasn't, I wasn't that surprised. I didn't celebrate it that much. And had we lost, I still wouldn't be shocked that much because, I didn't expect much, if that makes sense to you. But I appreciate, that's a good question. Maybe some people will state in the chat what would have been what would the mindset will be had we lost that game or so. He only needs one win in every 17 to 18 games or so. Yeah, I'm really concerned. As much as I wanted us to win this game, I'm really concerned from what JC had, what he explained when he was on the panel or 2 nights ago. So I hope they don't keep him because of this win today, because I don't see anything. I did not see anything special from our team, really. But we did better than we've done in a while. Coach, this win gets Potter about 3 games. That's where I'm concerned. I wouldn't even wait. I wouldn't consider this game, really. The only thing for me that will make me start saying, you know what, he's the man, is if he ends up winning the Champions League, which I don't know if he's capable of doing that, but we'll wait and see. Never say never. After all, on the 2 occasions that we've won it, nobody thought would even get to the final, let alone win them both. But if that makes sense. But let's see what happens. Coach, the win is a boost to players' confidence for sure. It will go a long way. It will do the team as a whole, as a unit, a world of good, because we haven't won any game for a while now. Fans' expectation, but unfortunately a distraction that masks the underlying issues that has yet to be addressed. I don't think it masks it. It wouldn't mask anything. We have Christopher Vivell. If he decides that Potter stays on just because we beat Leeds United by a long goal, then maybe he shouldn't be at the club, if that makes sense. I don't think it masks anything at all. It doesn't for me. The results, yeah. Look how many games before a single win. No, that's not it. That's not good enough. But if they feel like giving him time, I will always support my club. And I think he's not the man. Coach, for us, this win was normal, but to fight and get 3 points for the young players today was a nice confidence boost. I will say that. But that's, by the way, I have Bobby. So I'll stay with Bobby for 10 to 15 to 20 minutes. And then if anybody else wants to join, we'll do something about that. Just quickly, Bobby, I'll come to you. What are the positives we need to take from this match? You can see it's, let me think, really. Positives. Why not that? What's his name? Wesley Fofana played 90 minutes without getting injured. We were able to be defensively solid in the absence of Thiago Silva. His absence, I think, wasn't felt that much. What's his name? Mateo Kovacic was excellent. And I didn't expect him to play that good, but he did quite well and practically was one of the best players on the day. Yes, he didn't get a goal, but that's who he is. He helps you the team, the midfield tick. And he did that quite well today. We played well as we did because of him in the middle. Man of the match, probably Fofana. Yep, he was excellent also. Can you send the link? If you're on Twitter, I'd be better off sending you the link through Twitter so that, again, and you have to be on camera because I haven't seen you before. But if not, I'll send it through the chat, but you really have to be on camera, if that makes sense. We always had control of the game, but at the end, we always lose the match or draw. That's why I was pretty nervous towards the end of the game, if that makes sense. Let's see. I am tired of always seeing Kai Havertz play. Aubameyang, for God's sake. Yep, I don't know what Graham Potter, why he chose Aubameyang and didn't even give Kai Havertz and didn't even give Aubameyang a sniff of the game. So I don't know why. Big up Kuchila and big up to you to Chelsea all the way. Dortmund will decide our season. I hope we win that one too. Kovacic plays when he wants. Coach Taylor, yeah, you could say that. You could say that when he won 600 million for this. Not a chance of Potter out now. Well, it's not up to us. Big up to you to the New York guy. I hope you're doing well. Get Havertz of this club. It's not up to me. I actually cannot believe we won a game. A lot of people didn't believe that. It's Kami. It happened. We scored a goal and we won a game. Coach, to you and to you and I, Potter is not the man. But now that I know Todd, Todd needs a yes, I is my coach. Maybe that's the case. And then he might just be the man. I don't know. All I do is support the Chelsea is the entity I support. But do I think Graham Potter is the man? I would say no. A bold no. Capital N and capital O, if I had to write it down. Kai Havertz is not a footballer. I wouldn't go to that extent. We're playing him in the wrong position. Even though it is in a fluid approach, I think he can contribute more if he doesn't play as a number 9 man. But that's, by the way, let me come to the panel quickly. To you, Bobby. Welcome back to the panel. Your thoughts. Let me get pick your brain in about 10, 15 to 20 minutes, depending if anybody else comes calling to get on the panel. Your thoughts on the game overall. What do you make of it before we go on to asking you other questions?
Big up, Coach. I just thought
Mm.
I'll jump on because I didn't want to leave you on your own, really.
I
Um,
appreciate that. Thank you.
it's very difficult to analyze a game you haven't seen in entirety. I've seen bits, and I hope to see a little bit more a bit later. Uh, I just want to give the perspective I have for the
Mm,
Chelsea perspective from what I've seen and from the outcome of the game. And clearly, the result was everything. Excuse me, I'm so tired. The result was everything today. We had to win, and it didn't really matter how. We had discussed on various platforms of yours about the fact that look, he just needs to be pragmatic. He just needs to go out and get the result. And to be fair, he did that today. Is
mhm,
it good enough? Well, we know that there are players to come back. He seems to be relying on these players finding form. Okay, naturally. He has had a lot of players out, yes. The question mark still remains for me. Does he have the tactical know how to take us to the next level? Because whatever happens, there will always be this issue of sometimes players are in, sometimes players are out. Um, just before coming uh, here, I was on a Twitter space with Max and a couple of other people, and some people are coming up there attacking the usual suspects, Havertz, Ruben, ignorantly so. I'm so glad someone came and actually put them straight that Ruben has a big function in the team in terms of squad depth, in terms of English places for the Champions League, and indeed for the Premier League. The homegrown quota, half of the homegrown quota have to come from your own academy. And he's one of the players that fulfilled that. Anyway, that aside,
mhm,
um, it's very important to have that, and not many players of that ilk are available to us. Anyway, that aside, the fact is that Potter really couldn't have done much more than he did today. Perhaps maybe score more, get the players to score more goals. But there's a confidence thing in the club clearly.
mhm,
He is not that confident himself because of how he finished off the game. He went the Alamo, didn't he? He went total defensive after scoring. He just did not want to lose the lead. Fair enough. The players themselves felt the nerves, and I think it transmitted in some performances. Fair enough, especially later on in the game. So Dortmund it is a massive game. He knows it. Whether he had won this game or not, it remains a massive game because the benefits of the season lie on that game. What's he going to do about it? Well, time will tell. If he performs as well as he did at Dortmund and scores, then of course he has a good chance. If he doesn't, then he's put himself in a very, very, very precarious situation. Even now, I would be surprised, especially from the response of Todd Bowley after the game when he was asked about the game, and he said, "Well, it's a result." That's all he could say.
mhm,
I'll be surprised if they're not slowly beginning to look elsewhere. But obviously, contract situations, and of course, if they have to make another appointment, would make both letting him go have to be at the right time, and the next appointment having to be the right one. So, we're not quite there yet, but he has a big job on his hands. And fortunately, players are coming back. You can see how much we've missed them. People like Wesley, even Chilwell, a fit Chilwell. We didn't have Reece today. We didn't have Mason today. But lacking these players has really impacted us. There's no getting away from that. But we're big enough not to have to suffer in the way we did for results without them.
Yeah, result is important. That's why I give him kudos for being a bit pragmatic to just win, get a win. I know you like being. He's into good football. He's into making sure it's beautiful, that people enjoy it. But sometimes, given where we found ourselves, we needed that win. That win will go a long way. Like you would always say, I think it would do the team a world of good. And yeah, kudos to him for being a bit pragmatic like he did. Get the win first. I don't care what anybody says. A win is a win. As much as I want him out, I wanted my club to win. So, Bobby, question I want to ask you quickly again is this: how important is this game? I know I've already talked about that, but I want to go from your own word. How important, again, do you think it is? Do you think it will also convince some camp or the camp of some of those that want him out? I don't think so. I think it would take more than just what we saw today to convince them. But in your own way, what do you think? How important is this game for Porter?
Yeah, I mean, as I said on the space where people were saying, "Oh, he's lost the dressing room." No,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Potter's lost the dressing room. What Potter has lost is the confidence of the fans and a measure of the confidence of the players. And it's not that they don't want to play for him, but they're not sure. He gives instructions. You see, when you give instructions and it doesn't work, you're playing with players that play with doubt. Okay, people can say, oh, you can't legislate for the shot hitting the crossbar. True, very, very true. But your whole attacking approach, your whole attacking impetus, and the fact that it's not effective enough um, fills players with doubts. Even the players that are part of the attack. You could see, as I said, I've watched snippets of it and not all of it, but you
Mm-hmm.
watch snippets of a game and you can piece together what's happened. You can see from the goal by Fofana, there was so much relief. One, our defenders haven't been getting these goals, recently as much as they used to. And two, the fact that we actually scored a goal. It's been a while since we scored at the bridge. And the fact that it was Wesley coming back as well, there seemed to be a huge relief because the way it was greeted shows that the fans just want to win. They want the best for the team. They want the best for Potter, but Potter has to want the best for himself. And sadly, if that's not possible,
Or
then
let's say he has to know what he's doing.
yeah, exactly. Sorry, exact words. And if that's not possible, they can't even wait too long to get the replacements because we all know the quality of the elite managers available now may not remain available much longer. There's a lot of things that can happen with other clubs. I'm not saying that in particular, but Barca, who knows what their position will be
Mm-hmm.
because they're not doing so well. Real Madrid also, who knows with them, what their position will be. Even PSG. So there are elite managers out there, but how long will they remain? And this is always a question. So uh, he needs to convince people. What he's done today hasn't convinced anybody. It's just bought him a little bit of a reprieve in terms of the fact that the rot has not been allowed to get any worse, especially in the league, where
Mm-hmm.
we couldn't afford another loss. If not, we're going too far down the wrong end of the table.
Mm-hmm.
But whether
Roger,
it's
Roger, just give me about a few minutes. Let me round off with Bobby. I'll bring you in. Go ahead, Bobby. And I was going
but,
to ask you something when should drop now.
but just to conclude, because Roger, I've got to let him come.
Yeah, but let me
But,
ask you this. I know he's your gang member. Like,
yeah,
let me
yeah.
ask you this, Bobby. I want to
Roger's
ask you
my
this
boy.
quickly, Bobby. The rumors out there before this game was that he has just 2 games to save his job.
Yeah.
And we're hearing people say if we lose this one, I know we haven't lost this one, that
Mhm.
he was going to get fired. Do you think that's the case? For me, I think actually, like you said before, uh, maybe no, I think what you said was that to convince anybody has to win the Champions League, which to me reflects the fact that I don't think it will necessarily be about the Leeds game. It will if anything, it will be the game against Dortmund. If we're able to overcome the deficit and progress, beat them and progress to the quarterfinal stage, then he keeps his job. If not, that's when I think maybe they'd consider saying, we don't think it's working. But your thoughts?
Well, from the look of Todd Bowley's face, as before we scored, you could see that, losing was not an option today. It really wasn't. I don't know. I think the only thing that is staying any sort of execution is the terms and conditions of whatever contract it was that he signed. That's being taken into consideration. All this talk of, give him more time, we're going to stick by him. And I don't think these guys are into that. They're just into what is in the contract. And if rumor be believed that the contract, especially from what this guy, what was he saying, this journalist that does spaces sometimes, Ben Jacobs was saying last night on his Twitter space, his contract is very dependent on progression in competitions like the Champions League and finishing top 4 and things like that. So if he doesn't meet his targets and the conditions with which he can be released are less stringent. So we have to wait and see. That's what we've been told. I don't know. I haven't seen his contract, so I can only go by what I hear. But so I think Dortmund is huge for him. It really is, because if that doesn't happen, then the only reason they'll be hanging on to him will be for the season to conclude, to confirm that he's not getting into the top 4. That's my opinion, by the way. I mean, I'm not saying this out of any basis. I'm just putting together what I've heard and drawing what I believe is a logical conclusion, because there's no way, without the success to back it up, a £600 million additional investment targeted at playing staff, that the returns is not better than this. Anybody would expect at least good results, even if you're not ripping up trees or top 4 or something. People have been sacked for far less, or for lesser teams.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bobby. I appreciate you finding the time to join. I'm bringing Roger in a beat. This is not. He knows this is not a court session. We're here to talk about the game of what we witnessed. But that's by the way. Thank you so much, Bobby. Let me bring in Roger. I'll see you tomorrow during the Blue Morning Show. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Roger, pop, big up, bro. Just give me a second. Let me catch up with the chat.
Sure.
And maybe take a deep breath. If in case it becomes a fight, I'll be able to face you. But I'm just kidding. Much love, brother. Coach, here is a dilemma now. We were defensive, good with these players for 65 minutes, but Benoit cannot start at Dortmund. So what does Potter do for Dortmund game? Back 3 or back 4? I'm gonna highlight this one. Thank you, Roger is here. So I'm gonna have him help me answer that one with big questions, big English words. But I'll try my best though. The Leeds goalkeeper had a shot on target. I had the shot. He had to dive. I freaked out when that happened. With back 4, we lose that goal threat with wing backs. Chile and Reece James and Reece cannot bomb forward, and we are also more exposed defensively in the back 4. Conceding another goal to Dortmund will be of no good. Wow, some argument right there. And here's the link to the panel in case you want to join. I'll have Roger on for 10 minutes or more. It depends. If I see anybody knocking on the door, if I don't see anybody, I'd let him stay as much as he wants. Here is the link also. The StreamYard link, 2 versions of it. Could you allow why the spotter insists on picking Havertz? Because he trusts him. Because probably he fits in the fluid approach that we've always talked about. And Havertz showed me one thing. Again, this is not the first time that he showed. He's actually a fine creator. It depends on where he is on the pitch. I'd rather him play behind the striker, even in the fluid approach. Don't start him as a number 9. It just looks like he's not at his best whenever you start him as a number 9, even though they were supposed to interchange places. But that, if that makes sense to you, Havertz is the biggest non-threat when on the ball. It depends on where he has the ball. That's how I see it. Keshawn, the New York guy, a big up, nice to see you, brother. Graham Potter is not a good coach for Chelsea. A lot of people think that. But does that change anything what we think? I don't think so. I think it comes down to the owners or what they want to do. And Kimso says for BVB back for Koulibaly, Fofana, Chalobah, and Chilwell, I'm thinking so too. Maybe James may well play that game. I think he's going to play. Probably the main reason why he wasn't he was allowed to take a break today off the squad. It's because they want to be sure he's ready for that game, because you could say that game is more important than this game today. But Roger, big up to you. How are you doing, brother? You enjoyed this one, or you still saw a lot of stuff to be concerned about? If you want to let me guess, I'll guess correctly. Yeah, it's not the biggest kept secret.
It's the latter. I'll be honest with you.
No, but go ahead, brother.
I'm concerned virtually every week, Coach. It's the same ingredients to this recipe, isn't it? It's where are the goals going to come from? It's funny. Fofana scored a really good goal from a set piece.
And he could have had two good headed goals, but I don't blame him. Scoring 1 out of 2 opportunities he had is 50%, and that's nice.
Sure, but he scored from the hardest attempt. The easier one, he didn't even get on target. Yeah, but you notice the first one he had, which he missed. He missed
was the easier one.
Yeah, it was easier, which begs the question: why are we not at least testing the keeper? That's my point. I listen. I understand scoring is hard, but because there's a keeper, and he's a good keeper, Meslier. But all these top league keepers are bloody good, and so at least test them. That's my point. And we don't seemingly do this, at least on a regular basis. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And yet again, it's like someone tell our team that we don't get points for hitting the woodwork. We just don't.
No, we do.
But you know what I'm saying? I'm fed up of us hitting the crossbar on the post.
But that one, you could say, let's be honest, he was unlucky, really.
Yeah, it was a very good attempt. It's technically very well taken. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it was a tap-in and he missed it. So, I agree with you on that. I mean, and the keeper was beaten, hands down. But then again, who was it that took the shot? I think it was Felix yet again. He took a shot, a very soft one, and basically was right at the keeper yet again. It's like, make the keeper work.
Chilwell couldn't control the ball when that's perfect, very nicely weighted pass from Kai Havertz. Lots of situations where we could have had goals, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. That was a beautiful pass from Havertz. That actually gave me confidence. But listen, they could have easily scored 1 or 2 goals, and I think we could have easily scored 3 or 4 goals. They were, and I mean this politely, they were clinically inept today, Leeds, and they made us look like 1970s Brazil. We I said in the chat group, we didn't win this game, they lost it. It's simple as that. I'm not very confident in our ability to score, and it's not just under this coach. It's who was our leading scorer last year? Was it Lukaku? Or was that the year before?
Last season was Lukaku. The year before was Jorginho, I think.
Yeah, exactly. From penalties, it's like we've been. And listen, I always say we need goals from each part of the field. And yeah, we got one from defence today, but we should have got multiple to put this game away so that I didn't age 10 years in the last 15 minutes of the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
That's the thing. And I know, listen, it's easy said than done. This is a round orb that moves. This ball moves, and it's easy. I mean, they make it look easy at times. I get it. But we're not clinical. That's my number one observation coming from the game. And defensively, listen, I'm pleased that he was pragmatic in the last 15, 20 minutes. I've seen criticism of him on the internet saying, why did he shut the game down? Why didn't we were different? Well, you know what? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. We looked frail defensively on occasion, not all the time, but on occasion. And I think that's because of, listen, I'm not pointing fingers, but we do miss Silva back there. He makes it look easy. You know when this formation came out this afternoon, Coach. You know when we were doing the pre-game show. The one thing that stuck with me. What does this mean for Tuesday's game? Does this mean we play with a back three, or is Reece good enough to play Tuesday? Hopefully he is. I don't know.
No, I think like I said, I think that the decision to leave him out of this game was probably to be sure he was ready to play that game, because that would be the most important game.
So if
that would be the priority of the two to overcome the deficit, and then go through to the quarterfinal stage of the Champions League. But you go ahead.
So do you think if Tuesday's game wasn't until a following week, do you think Reece would have started today?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so, because he said he felt what tightness. To me, it was they're just being cautious because we've already lost Silva, so it makes perfect sense to say, okay, you know what, sit this one out so that we don't risk it too much, and then you'll be ready to play in the game against Dortmund. It's simple logic, really. The Champions League, I don't think they know it will be more difficult to make it to top four and participate in the next edition of the Champions League than beating Dortmund, overcoming the deficit and beating Dortmund is actually easier because it's 1 goal deficit. And we could have won that game had we put away the chances we had on the day in Germany. But go ahead with what you were saying.
If you notice, a lot of the time when we lose, and we have done a lot lately, we actually play better than our opponents. And when we win, we actually look worse than when we play and we lose. Have you noticed? At least that's my observation. And that's, I don't know. We didn't play as well as we played against Dortmund. Yes, I understand different kind of team. It's a league, and it has a historical, consequence. This rivalry between us, and it was a good physical game, by the way. You could tell. But actually, I thought you're right. Kova played better than I anticipated.
Yeah, he played better than I expected him to play, and he was excellent, or our best player on the day. But unfortunately, most people don't see what he brings to the team. You could say, but on the day, he's one of the reasons why we did how well we did today. Had he not been on the pitch, Enzo would have struggled very much. What he did the most that helped Enzo was that he was always available to collect the ball.
Exactly.
He made himself always available, just what Jorginho does, and he was never like that.
Forming triangles.
He hasn't been like that for a while now. Go ahead.
Yeah, forming triangles. You're right. It's what you do when you have possession, but you're not on the ball. Forming the triangles. I get it. Yeah, he did that. Listen. I think we can say categorically that the virtually every member of the team played well at times and not quite well at times. There wasn't a standout performance that you said, wow, this player is going to be MVP, and there wasn't any glaringly poor performances for the most part. I thought it was average. I'll be honest with you. I just thought that we were fortuitous that our opponents were not clinical.
No, they didn't even play. We didn't even see the high octane football that we're used to seeing from Leeds United.
No, they looked a bit legged, But
they looked that, yeah.
But I thought the first 20 to 30 minutes, I thought a lot of it had to do with us also. I thought it was a combination.
Possibly.
Yeah, I thought we played very well the first 30. But yet again, the same old story. We didn't put away. Had we come away the first 30 minutes 2-0 up, it would have been a different match. And I don't know. I'm not overly optimistic. I'm not really that happy as I should be after a victory, because I didn't think our performance was that great for the most part. And as I said, I thought we played better against Dortmund. I felt, not that I felt good that we lost, but I felt happy about the performance per se. Do you understand?
Overall, it wasn't, you could say, the greatest of performances we've seen from our team. It's just that I think the difference is that we saw a spirited performance. They wanted to win.
Yes.
The players wanted to win. That's the difference between playing very well. But that's, by the way, I
what
think...
did you think of the
go ahead.
substitutions, Coach?
I'll come back to that because I have to look at it to talk about it also.
Sure.
I haven't watched it the second time. I wonder how many jobs Havertz has at Chelsea. I'm not sure. The Porch are probably confused right now. I like Havertz, but it's better to be benched than use Havertz as a striker just because he's tall or because he doesn't complain. If you see his past, he was almost an attacking midfielder, and CM at Leverkusen, everyone knows he's not a natural striker. Why play him there? I would say because he hasn't shown descent for being played there. Maybe he has to do that before the manager stops playing him there, or he just plays there because he feels like he needs to be playing games, and that's what he has to do to be playing games. I think Graham Potter play a back three against Dortmund, and most likely the same personnel aside from Benoit. Who comes in for Benoit? Wesley Fofana comes in. Plus, I think Reece James comes in. Pragmatism approach would be if it ain't broken, don't fix it. A 3-4-3, that's it. Again, repeat it. It worked. We've tested it today, and it worked. Even though we saw, again, it's not perfect. It wasn't perfect, but we saw a better display than we've seen in a while. So, yeah, because it ain't broken, why try to fix it? And that's so American right there. The result is false, in my opinion, and matched, the fact that we didn't play well. We didn't play well. That everybody knows that. But we got the win, and the win will do the team a world of good. And Roger, let me ask you this before we talk about anything else. How important is this win? And let's not talk about whether the win is enough to convince some camp or some sections of the fan base. I don't think it's enough. It would take more than that to convince those that saying Potter out. Even the display itself isn't good enough to convince somebody hanging on the fence. We just have to support. Some of them just have to support the club because Chelsea is the entity they support. But how important is this win for Graham Potter or to what? I don't know what the better connector there and the players. Your thoughts?
I think it goes a long way towards the youth of the team. I think that will give them confidence.
The younger players?
Yeah, especially the younger players more than anyone.
How many of them did we see today in the defensive area?
Well, what I'm talking about throughout first of all, as a defense, you always want to keep a clean sheet. That's very important. The more clean sheets you keep throughout the year, the more, assuming that you're not, you don't show contempt and you don't show complacency, the more clean sheets you keep, the better it does for your confidence. And confidence, listen, goals change matches. It changes. It changes the momentum of a game, regardless of whether you're playing poorly or badly. But the other factor,
even a disallowed goal can make a difference.
Yeah, exactly. But the other factor is confidence. And you can listen. It's a slippery slope, isn't it? When you lose confidence, the more games you go without winning or scoring,
the harder it gets to come back.
Yeah. Even though it's played on the same field, the same dimensions for the most part, the same surface, and yet they're different people, same athletes. Do you see where I'm coming from? So this will do them psychologically. It will be beneficial to them to a certain extent. It can't hurt them. Let's put it that way. But
I think here's the thing. I give him kudos for being pragmatic. Usually he never is. I think this is the second time I've seen him trying
not enough. Yeah.
To play, it makes sense. You need that. Just get the win first. Let it be dirty.
What do you think Jose would have done? Jose plays a 9-1-1. It's simple as that. So I thought I didn't have a problem with him shutting down shot. But had we conceded, he would have been crucified after the game.
Ooh, and it nearly happened.
Yeah, several times.
Yeah, so that's why him making those changes to see out the game, it makes sense. Even the goalkeeper nearly scored. So because here's the thing.
Holy moly, coach! I nearly had a heart attack
because we haven't scored for a while. We haven't won a game for a while now. So usually, and in most cases, we score and the opposition team equalizes. So I don't know. It's a psychological thing. Before you know, it gets into the player's head. It's going to happen again today, and it will end up. It nearly happened severally.
So, do you
go ahead.
realise that's the first goal in 396 minutes? 6.5 hours, coach, plus.
Yeah, that's concerning.
Let that sink in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Roger, before let's talk about this one. I want you to take care of this one. I says it didn't look like Potter has lost the dressing room. I have never thought he's lost the dressing room. Losing the dressing room for me, but I want Roger to talk about this in particular. Losing the dressing room is different from the player not trusting him. I wouldn't say they're the same. Not trusting him because he's leading, leading them, and the result is not going their way. At some point, those you're leading will start questioning whether what you're telling them, is the right thing. But your thoughts on this comment, Roger? They played like they want to help him keep his job, really. But your thoughts, Roger?
Also, especially with the youth, the younger players, I think they, instead of losing the team, maybe they doubt either their ability or the formation or the tactics, whether they're doing it consciously or subconsciously. So there's different nuances of losing a team. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Clearly.
With the exception of Ziyech earlier on in the season, where remember that one appalling game he had. I think we lost him, to be honest with you, at one point in the season. But whether he's come back or not, I don't know. Mentally, I'm talking about. But other than that example, you can usually tell if you lose a team because, was it Mourinho when he lost the team? They just down tools. Remember that? It was horrible. I'm not seeing that. What I am seeing is a lack of finishing, meaning scoring. And you can see that a lot of especially when we were playing the newer players, the 4, 5, 6 matches ago, you can tell that they weren't fully integrated. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they haven't been acclimated. Other than that, no, I wouldn't say that. But who knows, coach? I'm not privy. I'm not in the locker room. But from what I can see on the pitch, it doesn't look like it. But he wore his lucky polo neck, coach. He needs to wear that every bloody... He cannot lose that polo neck. That's all I have to say.
It's his good luck charm, maybe.
Yeah.
I think we're lucky today. We were also unlucky not to have scored more than one goal. We were lucky we didn't concede late in the game. But that's by the way. Koulibaly deserves some praise. I think you and I are only a few people who understand.
He made some very important tackles, coach.
Yeah,
in the box.
Yeah. And read the game very well. Important fouls also, because those fouls are from experience.
Strategic.
When people were arguing that he's a flop, he's a bad player, he should let go, they're going to sell him in the summer. I think you are only one of those. You and I and a few other people were saying, we don't seem to know what we have here. He's a world-class player, and he's shown every time he's had a good game since he joined us, he's shown what he's capable of doing. And look, he's been one of our best players of late, even in the Champions League. But most people, it takes a lot to convince a lot of people. Some people just see games on the surface level and don't really look deep and see why he had the... go ahead.
His name, Koulibaly, has been mentioned for the last, 5, 6, 7 years as one of the top, let's say 3 to 4 to 5 maximum centre-backs in the whole of Europe. The whole of Europe. If you had told me a couple of years ago that we'd get him in Chelsea, I never would have believed you, because he hasn't, shall we say, played to his potential from what I anticipated, but he's still at his worst. He's still a very good player. He's
a very intelligent player. More importantly, his intelligence as a footballer is what I like, and his passing ability. Didn't he create an excellent chance for us today?
I'm telling you, he had a good game, and notice the passing with both feet. He had one little quirky moment where he hesitated too much, but that's fine. It's the speed of the game, and it was early in the game. But I thought he played well. My only criticism of him, coach, is I'd like to see him score more with his head. That's my only thing about him, and then that's all. the tall players in
Well,
Chelsea.
let him
by
just
the way.
score. It doesn't have to be with his head.
Yeah. If he scores with his bum, I don't care, coach. Just let him score. You're right. But you know what I'm saying, though? I want us to see us more dominant, aerially speaking.
Yeah, we have a lot of top players and should be dominant aerially, but that leap, that goal from Fofana, the leap alone was excellent, really. I give him kudos. He did quite well. Koulibaly, yeah, he deserves praise. He had a good game. Kai looks lazy. He gives up on the press so quickly.
Really?
But he did a lot of running, so I don't blame him. He's a human being.
That.
Yeah, I think he did an okay job today. As much as I don't think he's the worst. But let's see. It is his good luck charm. Yep, wearing the same. Let him do it again. Honestly, I just want my team to win. As much as I don't think he's the man for the job. Koulibaly was good until he wins the Champions League, maybe. Let's continue winning the subsequent games, because I think he gets tougher from here on. And had we not won this one, ooh, believe me, Twitter will be on fire. Actually, probably down now from lots of traffic. Yeah.
If we drew or lost this game, do you think he's gone?
No, I don't think so. Here's why. You want me to explain why I don't think it wasn't about this game? Here's the thing. Anybody on the board, if they're having a meeting, can make a solid argument. Look, we've been struggling in the league, but in Europe, we've been excellent.
Yeah.
They could call it excellent, even though I don't think we've been excellent in Europe, but at least he's done well in Europe. It would be okay to say it like that. And the argument could come up that had it not been for the misses, would have beaten Dortmund in their home ground.
Yeah.
And the argument could also come in that we can overcome that deficit and beat them, because we had the chance to beat them on their home on their turf in Germany. Now the argument could also come in. So let's let him, even if we want to make that decision, let's let him finish the second leg against Dortmund, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
I didn't at any time expect him to be fired, no matter the outcome of the game against Leeds United.
What about Tuesday? If we lose Tuesday or don't go through, is he gone?
That's possibly when they might say no. We don't think, because and believe me, even I get it. We had lots of injuries, lots of players out, and all that. Believe me, I think it will be justifiable if they do.
Okay.
They can, results.
This will be the litmus test. If we don't go through, hypothetically, and he still maintains his job the next day and the next day after for a week or so, and he coaches other games, I should say, then I think he lasts to the end of the season in all likelihood. I think that's a strong possibility.
That's a strong possibility. In what sense? To me,
and it depends on the way how we go out.
In the sense also that they may not want to be. That maybe they don't want to be in a rush to hire another manager.
Sure.
We don't know, or maybe they decided, let's give him to the side, let him have a preseason. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But like you said, if they fear that we're going to be and end up finding ourselves in a relegation battle, they may well decide early and say, we're not going to do this, because they know the risk involved. I don't know this. Nobody knows what will happen. We don't know, really.
Were you able to watch the match, Coach? Were you able to watch it today?
Yeah, I watched it. The only difference, because I had to leave my office for the cleaners to clean the office too, but I was able to watch it. A few distractions here and there, just so I wanted to say something. But here's the thing. My point is, people have been saying, if we lose this one, he's gone. If we lose this one, he's gone. I always knew before time it wasn't going to be that simple.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to. There are multitude of reasons why, or myriad of reasons why it won't be that simple, especially the contract he signed. There's a chance that because it's going to be an expensive decision. So they'll be weighing firing him and keeping him what happens. But if it becomes less expensive to fire him, I think they do it. It's business. And no matter how we see it, it's business for them, because bad results doesn't help business.
No, I get it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to... Yeah, go ahead. You wanted to say something.
No, you're right. He's a commodity. He's not Graham Potter. He's a name, rank, and serial number. He's an employee number.
Yep, like you usually like to let people know, the players and him, as much as the players are seen as commodity, he's the same for him. Yeah. That one, good luck. Let him keep wearing that. So Potter still has to go. We struggled to win. We will lose on Tuesday. I hope we don't. I'm going to keep saying this. but I know we see things, we think, we reason differently. For me, Chelsea is the entity I support. Potter will come, Potter will go. And I've seen the situation, even, here's the thing, we've seen a situation, even if he ends up beating, if we end up overcoming the deficit and beat Dortmund, that's not even a guarantee he keeps his job.
True.
It's not.
He could win Tuesday and be fired Wednesday morning.
Yeah,
right?
and be fired because maybe they have a meeting and say, maybe if we hire another manager from the quarterfinals, we can go through and go to win it. That's the thing.
Yeah, maybe they'll hire Bobby.
And I've seen something in the media that says they believe we can actually win Champions League.
Oof, I don't know. That's
On the two occasions that we've won it, Roger, do you by any chance believe that we're capable of winning them both?
Of course not.
See how you started it. You're training me to be a bad person. Yes, Koulibaly has
no chance, sir. No.
Koulibaly more comfortable in the back three and more comfortable centrally. Whether it's in the Champions League, we played with a back four and he was excellent on the day actually. Even though we lost that game, just don't play him as on the left hand side in the back three or in the back four. Let him stay central. I think he does well. And Kova, I don't know if I've told you this, maybe because he had the captain's armband, he played with an extra shoulder today. Koulibaly has 2 goals. Okay, thank you so much, Kim, so for reminding us that. Potter has to drop Kai. Why? Like I said, he likes him, but I don't think Kai should be playing in the number 9 position, even in a fluid approach. You see, he does better. You see something in him whenever he drops there. So he just showed he shouldn't be playing there.
He's a quality player, coach. He's a quality player.
Yeah, he is. But he's that sort of player that it takes a lot to understand what he does on the pitch.
He's a finesse player.
Yeah, more of it. Koulibaly in good as a central CB in the back three. Yeah, very correct, Kimso. And Kimso, how's your school going? I hope school is going well. Do the top four of the Champions League this year make it to next year?
Yes.
So you mean top 4 in the UK? Yeah. Plus there are other ways to get in there, right, Roger?
Yeah, if you win if you win the tournament, obviously you're automatically. If you're top 4 of the Premier League or your respective league, depends on how many places that each league gets. Depends. Each league is allotted a certain amount due to a, shall we say, a equation, a coefficiency equation that UEFA uses, and so you can do that, or you can qualify by winning the
Europa League, right?
Yeah, and then you qualify for next year's. So that's
there
why
is some new rule that Max explained. Are you well acquainted with that rule? Some other rule?
Yeah, something about. Yes, I remember we talked about this. This is to do with, it starts next year or the year after, I think, where I think they allocate 1 extra place based on your history or something, correct? Is that like a coefficiency? I'm not sure. I read something about it a long time ago. But I'm not...
Max did explain that. I have to decide because I'm supposed to know, just for the sake of it. But you cannot bank on that.
No.
Especially in England, because there are teams of Man United. You could say if that's the case, they have more reputation there than us.
You got Newcastle. You got Man U turning the corner. Listen, it's going to be very. That's actually our best way of getting in to the Champions League.
Or winning it. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, or I'm not talking about next year, but the year after is definitely getting the Europa League, coach. That'll be our best way. Starting next year, if we're not in the top 4 this year and we don't win it, definitely next year, if we do make top 7, the best way of us qualifying for the following season would be Europa League. No doubt about it.
And if you're in the chat, people, if you want to join the panel, Roger is here. If nobody's coming, I'll just keep talking with him, except if he wants to go get his slip. I know it's late for him. The link is pinned at the very top. If you want to join, just call me. But you have to be on camera because I don't know you before. Roger, I know him. And I wanted to make an exception, a way of making peace with him because we fought the other day.
You still remind me of
what
that.
he's going to do to make peace with me. Thank you. We've answered that. The Premier League is hard to assimilate to. Okay, Koulibaly will come good. he's always again. I've always trusted him. I didn't have it when we played those games that people were blaming them. The whole team was just underperforming or underperformed. The people were just looking for who to blame. And if you paid attention in those games, we didn't have proper protection from the midfielders, and there were barrages of attacks from our opposition. So yeah, that when opposition come at you like that, the defenders will most likely make mistakes, and they will point fingers at him as if he was the worst player on the day. Go ahead.
He had one bad game, and he was a bit petulant with his tackles and got 2 yellows. And I think, listen, look at his body of work. It's simple as that. Don't forget, when you're playing defense and when your team concedes a goal, there's so much more blame put on in that position. But then going forward, the opposite, your forward players for not scoring is not criticised as heavily as a defensive player, like a corner centre back or a goalkeeper, for instance. So that's why it's unfair, it's unjust.
Yeah, indeed it is. Roger, given this comment on the screen, which says positive result today, obviously we could have scored a few more, but this is definitely a step in the right direction. Yep, for sure, no matter who the manager is, for Potter and his men. Roger, what are the positives for you today?
Well, they're getting more playing time together. So you want to, match fitness. Each player.
How many changes today?
5.
So would you still count it as they get more games together?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about, you're looking at people coming back. You're looking at Kova coming back. He can't play the full game. Does that make sense? So he's getting match fit. So you're looking at your fitness incrementally speaking, certain players, obviously. You're looking at Felix. You're looking at Enzo working with Sterling and working with Kai. They've got to get playing time together. Do you understand?
Maybe the front line consistently more specifically together.
Yeah, because the back line, for all intents and purposes, they're pretty experienced with the exception of Fofana, knowing each other. I'm talking about. This is his first year, so you're right. So the midfield going forward, especially the 2 youngsters, they have to know each other's habits, their nuances, what they want. It takes time. Look at Liverpool when they had Marnie, Bobby Firmino, and obviously Salah. They didn't click at first.
And I heard Firmino is living on a free.
Yeah, he's a great player for them, coach. I really always enjoy.
I would say let's take him for his experience.
Yeah,
but go ahead with what you were saying,
especially leadership purposes. But he wouldn't be welcome here. I mean, he wouldn't want to come to Chelsea probably because of the rivalry, I'm assuming. But, listen, it takes time. You look at those front three, they didn't click automatically. It took them a while, coach. It's you don't just add water and voila. It's automatically you've got soup. It takes time to gel. So we have to be more patient. And I hate to say it, but it's not just our team, it's every team. It takes time to get to know each other, especially in a forward positioning. I was pleased also with the crosses. The crosses seemed to be better. Sterling had some.
Loftus-cheek put in a few delicious crosses, and I don't know how many. Even if it was one, I liked it.
Who did?
Yeah, he was effective at this. But go ahead.
I didn't hear who you said.
Loftus-cheek, your cousin.
Yeah, he did, and so did Sterling. Sterling early on made some nice crosses, and so did Chilwell.
And maybe Sterling should start playing on the right-hand side.
Yeah, actually, he looked better, didn't he? He really did look better. But I'll be honest with you, I know it may be too premature in his career, but I want to see Madueke play. But
I think he will get his chance. Gradual process, and he hasn't disappointed whenever he comes in.
That's why I wish we were still in, let's say, the other domestic cup so that he could get more playing time experience.
Yeah, unfortunately, it has to be the Premier League. And if we're progressing the Champions League. Let me catch more of what we have in the chat, and I still have you on, and I hope you don't mind.
No, not at all, Coach.
Okay, thank you so much. If you want to join the panel, the link is in the chat. Let me know. I'll see you back, Len, and then I'll release. I'll let Roger leave on a free or maybe on loan. A positive
On a free.
yeah, positive result today. Yep, I agree. Positive, yeah, in so many sense. But some people wasn't. A lot of people, you could say, are not happy that we won. Some of them would have preferred us losing just for things to look worse or for ground Potter. But I don't reason like that. I think it's top 5 next season. Goes into the UEFA Champions League.
Really?
Okay, the Undertaker CFC, bigger brother, and thank you so much for finding the time to join. If you're watching, if you haven't, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, thank you for all the support. And the daily roundup show it's really growing quicker than the Blue Morning show grew, actually. So lots of good stuff happening here. Please, Roger, we're surviving Havertz. Okay. Okay. We're going to survive him. Standout today for Fofana, Koulibaly, Sterling, and nearly all of them did very well. But again, among the best, they will always be best. But we'll get to that in a bit. Those subs were worse than an ultra Jose Mourinho will ever. We still only turn up for between 15 to 20 minutes. I think, Roger, I would like you to comment on that in a bit. If
Sure.
we had Reece as wing back today in most games, we would have created more chances. But Potter decides to change the formation now that he is out. He probably change it to a back four when he's back. I hope he doesn't do that. Dante, I hope you're doing well. And Makunju, I hope you're doing well, brother. Click but they never lost so much games. So this one here, what do you think, Roger? Your thoughts on that one? The subs were worse than an ultra Jose Mourinho will ever. We still only turn up for 15 to 20 minutes. That one, I think, yeah, we started well. It just looks as if as the game progresses, you can say, oh, we don't assert ourselves more. It will fizzle out a bit. I don't know. But the overall statement, Roger, you can start from any angle from that comment on the screen from Makunju. And Makunju, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I thought our midfield wouldn't play this well against Leeds. I think maybe they didn't bring their A game, but I thought we played.
Why
better.
do you think that is, really? Did they think they're gonna win this one? Probably maybe they thought so.
Maybe complacency, or maybe they're tired. You know,
I'd say the latter. I'd say complacency because they beat us 3-0 at home.
Yeah.
So probably came into this game. Then they didn't look that serious until we scored. But go ahead with what you were saying, Roger. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, not at all. I thought we played. Listen, I think Kova and Enzo played well for the most part in midfield. When you consider that we anticipated this will be our area of concern, shall we say, pre-game, if you recall. So that was a pleasant surprise. We actually, I thought we quote unquote dominated the first 20 to 30 minutes. And for stretches in the second half, at least the beginning of the second half. The only disappointing thing yet again is we didn't put the ball in the back of the net enough. Simple as that. Had we scored, it changes momentum, you know. It's also, I want to just mention one thing quickly. I thought the crowd was, at least from a television perspective, that the Chelsea crowd wasn't that loud. You could hear Leeds fans singing a lot more until we scored. Then it was loud. Then it was really, we were animated. We should have been like that from the beginning. And that's what...
You can say, I think from the time that Joao Felix effort hit the bar, I think he woke up the crowd.
Yeah. You know, you could sense the tenseness. You could sense it's like, uh-oh, here we go again. This is Dortmund all over again. Creating chances, missing. I think there was this air. You could feel the air. It was noticeable. So I think that's an issue. But anyway, listen, had we converted our chances, we would have dominated more, I believe. And then I have no problem with us being more pragmatic. I think a couple of those substitutions, I think it's because of Kova is coming back. Do you understand? I think Fernandez needed to be.
Yeah, he would have let Kova finish it, but I think he needs him against against Dortmund. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Loftus-cheek did really well, but you could listen when you're being substituted with 5-6 minutes left. as you want fresh legs on, even though there's a risk, but you need fresh legs because they're making substitutions also, if you notice. So they're bringing on fresher legs. So if we concede a goal and you don't bring on fresh legs, and it's because their new substitutes were fresher and faster, then he's in deep trouble for not being either reactive or proactive. It's simple as that. Zakaria coming on in the 68th minute with Gallagher and Zakaria, I thought did well. Gallagher brought a lot of energy. He hustled a lot.
Yeah, a lot of energy, but we lost a bit of coordination.
Yeah, we did, and I thought not just with him, but I thought collectively, like with Chalobah, I thought we were not cautious enough. We were going for like medium to long balls more, and we tended to lose possession more. We didn't play as conservative as I would have liked for us. Like, believe it or not, I would have liked for us to pass backwards more and sideways more to be more.
Yeah, just maintain possession.
Yeah, you know, how often do we always say that, listen, we need to stop doing that? But when you have a lead and you make pragmatic substitutions, keep the ball.
You need to keep the ball.
Yeah, and I feel that's maybe because of their inexperience, you know, and also they probably felt the tenseness also, you know. They're humans, coach. They're also nervous, don't forget. But I wanted to say one thing that I did notice about the game plan. We played a lot more diagonal balls, and that's because of the formation. I get that. But I thought it, you know, if you look at Chilwell, he played very wide, and it stretched them. And I really liked that. We played a lot of really nice balls, especially from Koulibaly. And I don't know whether I missed the first part of the show. Did you do the statistics? I don't know.
No, we haven't. We'll look at numbers together since you're here. It looks like it's just you and I. Nobody else is interested in coming onto the panel. So
must be my aftershave, coach. But I thought, you know, we spread the ball out, especially the long balls, quite well. And I was really pleasantly surprised with what we did in some aspects. Could we have been better? Of course. But listen, it's small steps, yeah? It's small steps. And I'm going to be biased here, but from a goalkeeper's perspective, we kept a clean sheet. And this is important from a defensive standpoint.
Well, also, clean sheet is important. Not even from a goalkeeper perspective only. It will go a long way for the team as a whole.
Yes.
And Kepa, kudos to him for being a sweeper keeper. That was a situation he read quite well. Had it been further away from Koulibaly when he tried to make that back pass,
remember.
We would have been in serious trouble. But that's by the way, here's something else I want to ask you. Your thoughts on the changes. Did he get all the changes spot on, or would you have done anything differently?
That's a good question. Let me look at the actual. Well, you know, as I said, I would have preferred David Fofana to be on the bench at the very least, to be honest with you. So, listen, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's not delivering in training. You know, some people train really well but play better on the pitch and vice versa.
You always say that.
But it's true, though. Because
I know, but just go ahead.
Yeah, but I can't explain why he's not on the bench at the very least, coach. I really can't. This confuses me.
Maybe because of your argument during the pregame show, he's going for experience.
Yeah, and you know, this is a sign of pressure. Most coaches, when they feel the pressure, they tend to revert to experienced players as opposed to youth. And that's what he's done 3 out of the last 4 games. This is, for all intents and purposes, a very mature team compared to the previous games since returning from the World Cup. You know, with the exception of obviously Enzo and Joao Felix. Look, you've got, I know Fofana's young, but you've got Koulibaly, Badiashile's young. We're talking about.
So let's go back to you. Like, okay, you're still on it.
Whether,
whether you would have done anything differently in terms of the changes.
I wouldn't have brought on. I wouldn't have brought on Pierre-Emerick. I just wouldn't have. Mudryk, maybe. I'm glad Chukwuemeka came on. He did make a difference, and I like him. But this is my question: where does he fit, though? Yeah,
And
no, I agree. He is
from
a
what we
pure.
saw, and
Yes. But there's too many round pegs in too many square holes, or too many, square pegs in round holes, however you want to term it. And I think that's an issue also. I think they're going to probably need a preseason to work through for 5-6 weeks where everyone fits. But I like the fact that he came on. I definitely would have brought him on. I would not have brought on Ziyech. I'm glad he brought on Zakaria. I actually wanted him to start, but he proved me wrong. I may have brought on Modric instead of Gallagher, to be honest with you. But
given the performance, just quickly, given the performance we saw for the 2 6s we used that day, Zakaria will find it difficult to come into this team again. And then Koulibaly is nearly ready.
Yes.
Yeah, so but go ahead.
But that's good, though, for depth, because, you don't want Kante, unless it's a really tight game and in a final or anything, you don't want him playing 90 minutes each week. You want him playing 65, 70, because studies have shown you go over 70 minutes at a certain age group, and that's where most of your muscular injuries are derived from. So he needs to be amply substituted. And listen, and I know that he's been so abused, overworked from both national and domestic coaches over the years. He has to be judiciously used, sparingly, I think, Kante, in my opinion. So Zakaria is going to be an integral part of this team. I really believe that. And so is Kova. But you're right, though. With Kante returning with Enzo. And Enzo, he can't play 90 minutes each game, coach. He just can't.
No, he can. He can. Yeah. That's why I'm saying I think we can plan ahead and be, use them sparingly. I think Kovacic can fulfill his role, because Enzo, as much as, between him and Kovacic is probably the more likely, the likely of the two to be, charged. But that's asked to be more disciplined of the two players, because he's a more defensively solid of him and Kovacic. So if we use them both, use them as the rotational players, him and Kovacic, I think he can take a break every now and then. If we overplay him, we're going to run into the ground, really. And I think he'd do more if he has the independence to be more adventurous on the pitch. But, yeah, that's me. Let me catch up with the chat a bit again. Sure. Where did I even stop? I think I stopped at this one. If we, that one there. And let's click again, but they never lost so many games. Can we play? I think I've seen all this. And this one here, Enzo should have really been rotated. He played every game. Zakaria would have done a good job alongside Kovacic, because we've seen that pairing before and it worked.
Yes.
I think it was a game we lost, but still it was. You could see that it was a good pairing, with Kovacic being the more adventurous of the two on the day. The subs changed momentum indeed. Potter nearly messed it up. Really, as much as what's his name, Gallagher did a lot of running, but we lost coordination. It was just more energy and more. We attacked quickly, actually, and like Roger explained, he expected us to keep the ball more, but we didn't. We were in a hurry to do everything at that time, so we lost the ball unnecessarily on occasions. The subs I truly struggle to understand. Yeah, that to Fofana as well. Is Potter just putting Alba on the bench to make up numbers? It doesn't make sense. I've talked about that, and I think Roger too. We've all considered that and had a debate about that. We were literally pushing him out. We agreed to pay his salary for him to join LA FC.
MLS,
MLS, and he refused. And staff did say this morning that he literally went back to Barcelona again to try to orchestrate a move, and it didn't work. So his head is somewhere else. So why have him on the bench?
He was in Paris.
Yeah, exactly. And today, I think at one time we were playing the game, preparing for a game, and he was seen playing the 5-a-side in Italy too. So why are we just doing that because we're paying him? It doesn't make any sort of sense.
No,
Roger, I see your client got to state staff execution. He sounds like a lawyer, right? Lawyer. Roger, right? He sounds like a lawyer, right? The language he uses.
Yeah, definitely.
The Bluetooth figure, right? He sounds like a lawyer. I'm serious.
Yeah. That's funny.
If you want 3 points against Porto, you have to be managerless. Leeds lost the game just because they were not managerless. I guess that's a good argument. I feel sorry for Oba, not necessarily because you could say the same thing. I'll feel sorry for him from the perspective that
I do.
From the perspective that whenever he's on the pitch, we don't create enough for him. We don't service him well because he's a player that thrives only when you service him well. And I still don't think we have the players that would do well in terms of creating the chances for him because he's a fine finisher. He still is. And before we signed him from Barcelona, he averaged nearly 1 goal per game. In 18 matches, I think he scored in how many? I think more than 17 or so, or 16 goals. I don't remember how many, but it was nearly 1 goal per game. It wasn't far off that number. Again, something with Chukwuemeka, I am sure. Okay, that's you. That's you. Let's see what happens. He's there. We'll get to see. We're all there. It seems the players have started teaching Potter Toko status. Maybe. Let's see if that's again. Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get that argument. Aubameyang is being mistreated. I wouldn't go to the extent of calling it that he's been mistreated. There's so much to his situation that we don't know. And I don't know either. Probably the club will not be happy that he refused to join MLS and decided to stay and fight for his place, which is usually a good thing. When the player decides they want to stay and fight for their place, it's usually a good thing. But I think he should have gotten at least 30 minutes today because you could argue that chance that hit the goalpost, had he been on the pitch, he would put it away. Yeah. At least he won. He's not the type. He's not the type to be using the goalkeeper as a target. If that makes sense. Aubameyang was playing a 5-a-side when we had the 2-day break. Yeah, but he shouldn't be there. Here's the thing. I'm not blaming him for his situation, and I'm sure you know that quite well, Kim.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know that quite well. His situation at Chelsea, I'm not blaming him. I know he's a fine finisher, but there's something beyond what we know that we should. So we shouldn't just jump to conclusions. The way Alba is treated is shameful. You could argue that. Imagine the only way round. He would have been abused and slandered from a pillar to post. Yeah. I just don't know his situation. I don't like it. And here's the thing: I don't think the club wants to terminate his contract because we paid 16 million plus, and probably come the end of summer, we'll get the size of, even if we get 5 million from him, that's a lot.
Exactly.
Rather than terminating his contract. I think that's why they're actually still keeping him at the club. I don't think he's done anything wrong. I don't know. Why people always defend Enzo Kovacic was excellent today. Yep, we said that. Nobody defended Enzo, but he had a good game too. And I am tired how fans defend us. Were you waiting to hear the handsome aspect of Eugene's comments?
That's funny.
He always says about, again, the handsomeness and everything. So, Roger, let me ask you this before we look at the numbers of any player you would want us to look at. I know we have the Blue Morning Show tomorrow, so I would want us to end this as soon as possible. So if you want to be part of the Blue Morning Show so you get some rest. The positives for you, clearly, you haven't named any, can you?
We didn't concede. I know.
Oh, you said that again as a former goalkeeper. You did say that,
it's a big deal, coach. You know, especially when you've been conceding the last couple of goals. So that's what 3 out of 6 games now, I think, without conceding a goal. That's good. You want a level of consistency. I think the more that these players, the new players, get more experience with the players that are returning from injury, like a Sterling. You know, so you're looking at the new players like Enzo and Joao Felix playing with a Sterling and a Kai Havertz. The positives are that they're getting enough playing time to understand each other more on the pitch, and then they can go back in the film room and go over everything and work on things in the training pitch. That's a positive. The other positive is I didn't see anyone get hurt. I know that sounds really bad, but this is how low.
At one point, I was concerned. I was saying to myself, "Fofana, not today. Fofana, not today, please."
Yeah, please.
Not today.
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. You know how bad. You know your season's bad when you finish a game and you're lucky. You're praying that you're happy that no one got hurt. That's how bad our season is. So that's a huge plus also. So those are the positives for me. But
And
equally,
if you look at the performance of our defense, except for Koulibaly, every other defender there, you can say the two centre halves are the two French international French connection. They were excellent. Badiashile, he had a good game today, but more especially, I would say, he was excellent today. Really,
yeah,
I think he's the one that showed the most fight of all the players on the pitch today. Really, and I enjoyed watching him. But Roger, let me ask you this, and to those in the chat, the same question goes to you. For you, Roger, who emerged the man of the match for you and why? And if you're in the chat, I want to know your man of the match and why you think that the player deserves being one of the match. We only have had some players, and he's Diggs is having a serious laugh.
That's funny.
If Eugene comes here and he didn't say anything about a player being handsome and for marketing, I will ask him for his ID. But Roger, your thoughts, your man of the match and why you think that player for you is the man of the match. And some question goes to those of you in the chat. I want to know your pick for the man of the match and why you think the player you select is the man of the match.
For me, I've got like 3. So I can't.
But you have to go with. Okay,
No,
give us
I
a
know.
3 and then pick one out of the 3.
Sure. I was impressed with Ruben. He's playing in a position that he's not comfortable with. I thought he did well. Obviously Fofana, not because he scored, but because if you
his overall display.
Yeah, and also the run he made, which gave him the opportunity with that header to the first miss he made on goal. That's a great run. You have to understand he did well to actually get free from his marker. And defensively, he was very sound and his passing was excellent. And Koulibaly, to me, stood out. No disrespect to the goalkeeper, but I'm glad he got the armband, by the way, at the end of the game when Kova came off. I was really pleased with that. But
that was who got the armband?
Kepa.
Was Kepa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, that shows you the lack of leadership we've got in the team. But
he's a leader. I just thought he's a goalkeeper. I like my my leaders in the team being an outfield player because you need to be communicating nearly with every player on the pitch. But from the back, there's only much that he can do from there, except when it comes to talking with the referee for certain decisions and all that.
Sure.
But you go ahead with what you were saying. Sorry for cutting you off.
I think I'm going to go with Koulibaly, to be honest with you, because he showed
really.
I think he showed his leadership on the field.
Yeah, he led well.
He did.
Well.
Yeah, I was impressed. I actually paid a lot of attention to him. Yeah, he had a very, shall we say, suspect moment where he held on to the ball too much. But you have to look at his entire body of work, what he did. He made some integral tackles, especially inside the box. His timing was excellent. He read. He looked a bit like Silva, if some of the ways he followed.
No, but I think you and I, Roger, we've actually said that before. That if he had to be the one to lead the back line, he does better. But you go ahead with what you were saying.
No, I thought he did. I thought he did very well. There was a couple of through balls to. I forgot the Leeds player. I apologize. And they basically had a shot on target, but he smothered it and gave away a corner. I thought he did very well. These were key points because we would have gone down 1-0 and you're looking at a completely different game, and this is the time where we were basically dominating. And guess what? This is when you have very little to work on defensively, that's when you switch off, and he didn't. So you have to give him kudos. I go with Koulibaly, to be honest with you.
All right, let me see what they have in the chat. Like what those in the chat, who they pick as their man of the match. It'd be interesting to see their picks here. It says we'll build a complete Playboy team. Okay, now we're talking about who's your man of the match and why. I haven't was a turtleneck since you haven't won a turtleneck suit since 1995. Maybe you should try it. It's a good luck charm.
Good luck, mate.
Yeah, you know why marketing. That's why many cannot accept that Messi is better than Ronaldo. Because they like handsome Messi. Okay, well.
Eugene.
every time I compare the two players, I'm always focused on their footballing ability and not who's more handsome than the other. But that's, by the way, that is the key point of Real Madrid. Okay, we're talking about give us your man of the match and who you think and why. I want to know. I would change nothing against Dortmund except Badiashile. Yeah, because of course. Surprise, surprise. What are you saying? But because he isn't playing. Enzo is clean example of marketing, really. Roger, the prosecution is willing to settle out of court if your client agrees to take a pay cut and accept a role at Cobham as a training mannequin. I guess that's what that is. Our players couldn't hit a band door. He will be fine. Our players couldn't hit the butt of a car with a handful of sand. Honestly, it's shameful, really. I have to be honest in that aspect. Fofana would be my favorite. Even beyond the goal, he looked like a top player. I think he showed the most fight. Have I said that before? I think I've said that.
He also looked really good when he came on in Southampton, the second half coach. Mm-hmm. He looked like a different player to the beginning of the season. So let's keep our fingers crossed, coach.
I just hope he stays fit. Because if anything happens again, he'll be entering the category injury prone. So let's give him time now. And cover for me, he ordered the midfield. That's a good shout.
Very well. Yeah.
Because he's that sort of player. Reminds me of former Nigerian international Kanu Nwankwo. As slow as you think he's on the pitch, the moment you take him off, you realize its importance.
I was nervous, coach, with him on the field today. I was anticipating.
In what sense? You're talking about Kovacic, but in what sense?
Yeah, I was nervous that we would get overrun and out-muscled, out-physicaled in the midfield.
But that didn't happen.
No, at least for most of the game, it didn't. I mean, listen, it didn't go the way I anticipated because, as we said in the pre-game show, I was really nervous about that. To me, that was the key to the game, and I thought both of them played very well. And it's what they did off the ball as well as on the ball. You're right. It's hard.
I think it wasn't. The midfield really wasn't a physical battle. I think we beat them in the midfield by Kova's availability of the ball, making himself available off the ball. Because we didn't see a physical battle there. And like we said, what made him stand out today during that game was that he made himself available, always creating extra passing lane, whether the defense had the ball or whether I think he even made what's his name, the Argentine. He made him look better today because he didn't have too much work to do. Kova was always available, and that was a good thing to see. Kova is a good shot, and now I'm torn between Kova and what's his name, Badiashile. What's his name? Not Badiashile, and Fofana really. But you go ahead with what you were saying.
As I said, there wasn't one really, really standout player today, but there wasn't also a really poor player today for the most part. I thought they were pretty much, I would give them, for the most part, all of them between 6.5 and 7.5 today, I thought, across the board. But, Kova's a good shout. I would have no objections if Kova got man of the match, or I wouldn't mind either Fofana or Koulibaly either. I mean, seriously, they were... I mean, give it to the ref then. He didn't mess the game up. It's... I don't know.
I think we should keep Kovacic. Yeah, I think we should keep him by all means. Do whatever we can to keep him. Because if he goes, we're losing. We're lessening the experience we have in the team. He leads. He's not the most vocal, but he leads by example. And given the way he plays, he can motivate the team by the way he look. His footballing intelligence is something people don't take seriously because he doesn't create too many chances and because he doesn't score too many goals. But he's still very important to the team. He reads the game in an offensive manner that he knows what direction to go with the ball, to progress the ball and beat the opponent even without asserting too much effort, if that makes sense. Coach, for me, I think that's a good shot. Go ahead, Roger, if you have something to add to that.
I just want to say his positive attributes are intangibles, things that can't be measured by statistics. That there is no statistics for getting open and and reading the game. Those things can't be. There are no statistics for that, and he does it very well, and he leads very well. So yeah, he doesn't score enough, and he doesn't create enough chances, but he compensates for other things in other areas. So you're right. I think if we did lose him, it would be a big loss considering we lost J5 also.
Yeah, I don't think we should. If we lose him, we're going to be in serious trouble because it will be hard to find any player that's playing the way he plays and does what he does for the team. Kova is a good shout there. I wear V next to be in touch.
What?
With Neto. Yeah, there's a chance it works for you. I haven't tried any of that. I'm not that. I believe in higher power, but I'm not superstitious, really. Of course, Akova was the man. I don't even talk about that. Koulibaly played well too. Like Roger said, nobody was. You can't say again. Nobody did very bad. Nobody. They all did. All the players were good today. It was a collective. A good performance, if you want to phrase it like that. But that's, by the way, Porter is clueless. Did you see the subs? Absolute train wreck. I didn't really like the sub, but I give him credit for being at least a bit more pragmatic. He wanted to win. It's as simple as that. Because we have a problem, honestly. We have a problem, and I wanted him to do whatever he can to make sure we didn't concede, and he did that. And it nearly didn't work, but it worked. Even though I didn't like the changes he made, we got the 3 points. That's all that matters.
Question, Coach.
Yeah.
What changes would you have made?
He has to change. Okay, let's look at it. I wouldn't even. I would. Yeah, for good reason to bring in Zakaria and take off Kova because he's just recovering. Yeah, he was playing well, but maybe it would have been a risk to let him play the 90 minutes.
Sure.
But I would have changed Kai Havertz and changed the structure. Change the structure a bit, accommodate Mihailo Modric to come use his space. Because this time, at that point, we were 1 goal up and they were coming out. They were a bit, Leeds became a bit less defensive than they were before they conceded. Because if you look at the way they played today, maybe their game plan was to find space and hit us on a break. They were soaking up the pressure. They were defending deep or beat, not that much because they were quick in transition, but they didn't play like they usually play. So it's looking more like the moment they conceded, they were all out. I would have brought in a Modric and changed the system to accommodate him on the flanks because there were spaces there. If you watch the game again today, rewatch the game, you'll see what I mean. He brought in Madueke, nice, but I would have changed the structure a bit. So, I think would have gotten 1 more goal. That's me. That's how I see it. Go ahead.
No. I'm agreeing with you. I don't have a problem because it would utilize his speed, especially when we lost Sterling. I agree. I get it.
Is Gallagher's sat nav not working? He looks lost.
That's funny.
I'm guessing what you guys call sat nav in the UK is GPS.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The nav there, satellite nav. Again, I was able to put it together. Okay, that's what GPS. But at least his running was effective. But like I said, we lost coordination when he came in.
He lacked discipline, didn't he? A bit. He was all over the place. But he was pressing, and he did cause them issues. But I thought you're right though. He left gaps behind. But
again. Let's see what else we have. Enzo, your man of the match, and why I want to know. Chalobah in the back 3 versus Dortmund is a bit shaky. I think Chalobah will be all right. He's played in the right center back position, played that quite a lot under Thomas Tuchel, and was excellent. I'm not sure what's going on with him right now, and I think that's what we'll see in the Champions League. But I'm suspecting we'll see Cucurella in the Champions League. Maybe because we'll be all out. We need to cancel that goal and then try to score more. So we won't be doing anything defensive. I think we will risk it, which means there's a chance we'll see a back 3, which includes maybe Cucurella, left center back, because he likes to play him there. But that would be risky too. And what's his name? Chilwell, left wing back. And then on the right hand side, and then centrally you can have Koulibaly. Centrally Koulibaly And then right centre back, maybe I think it will be Fofana because he played well today. But let's see what he does. Like you always say, Roger, Potter is predictably unpredictable.
I have no idea, Coach.
I wouldn't call him that because if you think he doesn't play well, just say that he didn't play well. Potter is a coward playing defensive. I take it. I want to win. He's got to win. Let's see where that leads us to.
He's damned if he does. He's damned if he does.
Yep.
Not,
Yeah. Again, as much as I don't think he's a man, I think he did the right thing to try to see out the win because we have an issue, and that particular issue is down to the player's mentality, which means if there's a chance if he didn't make defensive changes, would have conceded. Even after he did, we were close to conceding. Potter left. Sorry, I missed this one. I haven't read this one. Leeds don't have a physical midfield, unlike most teams, but they're very pacey. And actually, they weren't even pacey today. That's the thing. It wasn't a mid. I think we won the midfield.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we won the midfield, so we weren't challenged that much in the midfield.
You know what, though? They tried to press us in the midfield quite often, but I thought that I think they didn't expect us to play with the back three today. I think they expected.
And in the midfield, like we've established before, we were able to overcome them because Cover was excellent. He made himself available off the ball all the time. So even their pressing in the midfield area didn't work. But go ahead, sorry, you were saying something.
And we had an extra defensive centre-back to pass to, which gave us more opportunity, to pass around their press. I don't think they really thought that I didn't think we'd play with the back three either. So that could have something to do with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, again, we have a few minutes to round up. I'm going to have Roger choose a player. He wants us to look at the player's number. Before we leave, again, if you're watching, if you haven't, drop a like on the stream. We have 55 likes. That's actually excellent given the number of people we've had watching. The most we've had is 75 people, but we still have 62 people watching. Please drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. Becoming a member of the community, believe me, you will not regret it. Subscribe and make sure you hit the notification button so whenever we go live or release a video, you will be notified. Thank you so much for that. Potter left Badiashile out of the Champions League squad and left injured Pulisic in the squad. This guy is all over the place. Roger, was there the possibility to actually...
Pulisic isn't part of the equation because of the simple fact that Badiashile is new, correct? So he was... When did we purchase him? Let me have a look.
This January, really?
Yeah, so he was part of the... so it's because of they didn't start the season... So we could only choose 3 new additions. So it's irrelevant. Pulisic is not part of the equation. And it
wouldn't have worked to decide, okay, we want to take him off. No, that wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, so we had to choose between Badiashile, Mudryk, Felix, and Madueke, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Badiashile, Felix, Noni Madueke, and who again? Mihailo Mudryk.
Yes. Enzo, sorry. Enzo.
We had to choose from those there. Yeah.
So we chose basically Joao Felix, Mudryk, and Enzo. So, but you know what though? It's not looking a very good decision. Maybe Badiashile should have been chosen.
And had we chosen him and we started suffering defensively, we started having issue in the wing in the wing play area. Then we'll start saying maybe
it's all about hindsight.
It doesn't make any sort of sense to go into that.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah, Gallagher showed a great skill on not letting the ball go to the Leeds player at the corner. He tried. Give him credit. He did his best, but again, there's a downside to where he was deployed, and it's not down to him, down to the manager probably. Gallagher was easy job today. Around 4 more Chelsea midfielders. Okay, Kovacic is like the midfield version of Man United. How do you pronounce that name? Weghorst. They don't provide what they are expected to. Is that what? But are really important to the team and their style of play. You can't argue that. Yep, he's a very important player, but most people will not see that. Unfortunately, a lot of people will not see how important he is. Kova is one of our leaders in a successful dribble. Yeah, he's good at that. He's good at that, and we need him.
Turns on the ball really well.
Yeah, and here's how I always argue that he's the only player that makes sure we still play when we play against teams that defend deep, or teams that press us aggressively, or teams that again do the sort of marking where once the player has the ball, you have 2-3 players on them. He's one of those that makes sure we still play, no matter the situation. The Undertaker CFC, I was at the game. Badiashile was my man of the match.
Wow.
He did well too, and then he created the chance. Oh no, he created one chance, and there was one delicious threaded carpet pass for Ben Chilwell. And if you saw the ball at first, you think maybe the Leeds United defender will stop it. Do you remember the pass I was talking?
No.
Oh my! It was so.
But I'm going to watch
I think it was towards the end of the game. Leeds were playing a high line then because they wanted to get an equalizing goal. That carpet pass from Badiashile, it was so sweet. I think if I start rewatching it, I have to record that area out and use it for a short video. It was a delicious pass from him, really.
Yeah, seriously, our depth at centre back is deep. It's very deep.
And they're all ball playing. They're all ball playing centre backs.
Yeah, I'm talking about the quality of the depth also, more importantly. It's a beautiful thing, finally.
Yeah, it is indeed. Just 1 second, Roger. I was, again, I hope you enjoyed it. Even though you sound like you wanted us to lose the game so that the man will lose his job. Kuchila, that's one of Kovacic's better games after a long while. I agree with you, and I think even Roger agrees a long time. We shouldn't be too fickle. I would sell him. I wouldn't sell him because I knew he had it in him. That's why I said we shouldn't even consider selling him. Here's the thing. I think we overplayed him. Under Thomas Tuchel, we overplayed him as much as we overplayed N'Golo Kante, if we're being honest.
We lack depth in midfield, coach.
Yeah. Bali post-match hinted that it's all about results. I will never, Roger, run any football club because he's so emotional rather than pragmatic. You will never, okay, Roger is going to put this application in soon, so you better decide what to do. Casado just got new contract to 2027. I think that was done because they wanted to get more money from him.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think that would deter. They want to from his sell if they sell him. Felix out 30 minutes before, and if we count more than 90 minutes, okay. Why did Loftus-cheek do that? Coach? What did he do? I want to know. Let's see what else we have here. Okay. I said this weeks ago. Alex, how are you doing? Potter needs to go back to a back three to save his job and free James and Chilwell to help the attack. Obviously, we use Ruben Loftus-cheek, but I am glad we did this to win. And to be honest, Chilwell did well. He attempted a lot of crosses, although all of them didn't go in. But the ones he got in were good. McKinney is strong. Yeah, probably lost today. I know. Chelsea is an elite club, and we need an elite manager. Potter has to go. It sounds easy, but we're not sure what the owners are going to do. And even though I want him gone, I'm not sure what's going to happen, really. Pressure and deliverable targets makes our coaches more serious and goal-oriented. As a club, our level is beginning to dip. I am still 100% Potter out. Oh, yeah, it does. That didn't actually convert a lot of people, honestly.
And it shouldn't have either. It should not have converted anyone. Listen, I'm not more pessimistic or more optimistic. Well, I'm more saddened at the fact we're not clinical as much as we need to be. But this game should not have swayed anyone in either direction.
No, it's not enough.
Yeah, no, of course not. Not even close.
I think the only thing that will sway a lot of people will be if he goes on to win the Champions League.
To me personally, if we get to the semi-finals, I'll be very happy because that's
even enough for a lot of people.
Yeah, to me, that's a big achievement, coach. Mourinho never got us to a final, and he's considered our greatest ever coach. So,
yeah, I don't consider him our greatest ever coach until he wins the Champions League.
Yeah, no. Who is our greatest ever coach, in your opinion?
To me, I pick Thomas Tuchel. He won all the trophies we haven't won. Our second Champions League, our first Club World Cup, our first Europa Super Cup. So I'll take him anytime.
And coach, more importantly, how he handled himself going through that. To me,
you could say the toughest in history. One of the toughest. Period.
To me, it was more endearing. That's why I wanted him as our coach for the longest time. After that, because of what he did, how he handled himself.
That broke my heart even more. I don't care any other reason why he was sacked. But whenever we talk about how he comported himself, how he represented, because those that were supposed to be talking weren't talking. He was the one that was answering questions.
It was none of his field. Yeah, to me, he's our best coach. In my opinion, my humble opinion, he's my favorite we've ever had. I agree with you.
He is. He's very likable, really. Mourinho can come across sometimes as egotistic. Sometimes,
coach. Sometimes. Yeah.
It appears that the threat of being sacked worked. What else can we threaten him with? May I suggest a hot waxing of it? No, stop, please, stop. I really want to go to heaven. Don't put me through that again. Chilwell should have squared it.
Yeah.
There's one also that I expected Kai Havertz to at least look up, and that was a lame attempt. That was a lame attempt by Kai Havertz at goal.
Well, actually, it wasn't. If you look at the certain angle of the replay, coach, that was a great save. That is a very good save.
Maybe I need to look at it again.
Yeah, look at it. It was, at first I thought, that was poor decision. But when you look at the actual shot, it was a great save, coach.
Yeah, maybe I didn't need to look at it again. People, thank you for
tell me what you think.
Yeah, well, thank you for 61 likes, people. I appreciate that. If you haven't, drop a like on the stream. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, or maybe become a member if you can afford it. The membership costs $2.99. It will help us start a program that we planned, put it in motion to support students every month. Something we wholeheartedly want to do. But that's, by the way, do you think Auba will get more time? It's hard to tell. There's no telling what will happen. If he's on the bench, then there's a chance that will happen. There's also a chance he warms the bench most of the times, as much as I want him to get a chance. But I think it would take a lot to get him to score goals whenever he's on the pitch, given the way we play, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for our brother, the Lord N'Golo Kante, to come back. I think he makes a whole lot of difference. If he comes back, which means, Kovacic can be rotating with Enzo Fernandez, and him, Kante, when he's not playing, Zakaria can play his role. I think we're loaded in that area right now, actually. I think we're good. Let me just say we're good in that area if he comes back. If anything, he nearly messed up himself with those subs. He nearly did. He worked to an extent, but at the time, it does seem, had we lost that game or had he ended a draw, people would be arguing he should have attacked even more and get one more goal.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to me, Glenn? Why do you want me to read that? And I'm not going to read it. If anybody's seeing it, let them.
You blame him?
Let them see it. When they show him, but his look was awkward, though. His look and the sitting posture was awkward.
Oh, man. You could tell he was nervous, I think.
His body was looking constipated. I'm sweating really hard from reading that right now.
That was funny.
Oh, my goodness, Glenn. Yeah.
Oh, these two yellow cards. That's funny.
I'm gonna you on the Bluetooth again. I'm gonna stop there. I will stop reading your comments in the chat. Really, you guys can get me into trouble. Listen, Ball's interview on YouTube that he said why he sacked Tuchel. He was guessing one of America's show. I don't know the name. What did he say specifically? Yeah, nobody has ever been specific as to what he said, and I don't think he will ever, even if there's a reason. It will be I don't think it would be childlike to do so. It's not in a professional world. You don't do that. Usually, you don't say why an employee was let go.
Also, he may break the contract with an NDA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, non-disclosure stuff and all that. So except if he writes a book and spills something, then you have the right to respond and say, that wasn't what happened. Yeah. So in most cases, it's a huge risk. And if it is something that he'd be willing to say and nothing happens, I think he'd say it by now to save face at least. Yes, it's awful on fun angle. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. PC. Mother of every mother. Okay. It's okay, coach. Yeah, I arranged a full passage to heaven. Okay, skip that one, coach. I should have, really. Why did I even highlight it? Yep. If we sell Kovacic to Man City, we're dumb. I don't think we'll do that.
Yeah, that's not wise, coach. Why feed your one of your opponents?
No, it doesn't make any sort of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think they will, because probably Jorginho has turned he's turned into one of the best players in the league right now. But again, I'll always take Kovacic over Jorginho if I'm being honest. But I don't think we should sell him. We will miss him, really. He's important. Even if we want to sell him, let's keep him at least. I extend his contract, keep him for at least one more season so that the transition will be seamless from whoever takes his place to him. We shouldn't be in a rush to do that. I don't think we should sell him, really. LeBron James says, Fofana is a good guy to score the goal. Yeah, but I guess so. I am still not convinced with Potter. A lot of people aren't. I don't think if he moved the needle actually with that win. I still want Potter out, and you're entitled to do so. I am sure there's a spot in heaven for you, Coach Roger. Maybe get in extra +1. Maybe. You never know.
Suitcase, will I?
You never know. Reason that we don't score is Harry Potter. Wow.
Oh, good one.
Okay. What's the point of keep playing Hazard? I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't know what he sees that we don't see. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he should be played in the number 9 position. Even in a fluid approach, he's looked lost in most occasions and doesn't do much, but done a lot of running. So I don't think we should be playing him there. Chelsea played with renewed hunger. I saw that today. Luigi Pellegrini, that's the truth. Tenacity, agility, and hunger to fight. Yep, Roger, we already talked about that. We saw a spirited performance today for the 3 points against a rough tackling team as Leeds United. So let's give them some credit. So I agree with you. Plus, our DMs, Kante and Zakaria were back, which get the team push up for the 3 points. Okay, Kante didn't start. Zakaria didn't start, but maybe because they're back in training, it makes a difference. Roger is also there. His client survived today. Roger, on that note, let me ask you this question, really. That wasn't the first time people were saying, if we lose this one, he's getting fired. When we heard before this game that he has 2 games to save his job, I did not expect him to be fired, even if we lose this game. Had we lost this game, I didn't expect them. If anything, I was always saying the Dortmund game will be it, because that's the game they're looking forward for us to overcome the deficit, beat Dortmund, and make it to the quarter. Had we lost this game, Roger, what do you think they would have done?
No, I agree with your assessment earlier when I asked you that. I think, it depends on how we lose. Let's say we lost 3 or 4 plus today, and then we lost 3 or 4 plus on Tuesday. Or we played poorly and only lost 1-0 or drew 1-1 on Tuesday. Then the guillotine could be lowered. However, if we dominated the match, scored several goals offside, hit the woodwork several times, and we were the better team, but we just went clinical, they may perhaps look at this as a turning point and maybe say, you know what, they're playing better. They may fire him in the tunnel after the game. We don't know. But I think it's not just the result, it's how they play is more important. Like if they're absolutely dominant and don't win the game.
Just try, let it be that they win.
And because you know and I know that unlike I don't know whether you follow the NFL that much, but it's not like the NFL. 99.9%, you will see when a team dominates, they invariably always win. But that's not the case in football or soccer. It's when a team dominates, doesn't mean that they win or draw. They sometimes lose. And this could be the case, that we could dominate and lose. And if that does transpire, they may think about keeping him. But if we play really poorly, and I mean as poorly as we've been playing, or worse, then they may fire him. But you have to understand, we're playing without three really important players also, and that would be Silva, Reece, and N'Golo. These are integral players, in my opinion, and perhaps Vavell, Winstanley, with the upper management and the board, may
Morgan Winstanley.
Yeah, Morgan Stanley. They may come to the conclusion, like, listen, we may need to give him to the end of the season, see what he does with those three players returning or not. I think they're not going to make an emotional decision. I think with the addition of these directors of football, I think they're going to make a decision based on the product they see on the field and all these circumstances that are surrounding the team. I think that's what they'll conclude. And I think they'll do it logically and with level heads, whether it's best to let him go or best to keep him. I think it won't be a decision based on emotions or anger. I think it will be based on what they perceive in a more technical manner. I think that would be the case because they've put in place this structure which we've been asking for quite a long time. And I think they would at least, shall we say, at least listen to the input. And I think they will value the input from Vavell and Winstanley and others. I think that should weigh some. Whether it goes
Bobby
either way,
in the chat cracking up that we joked that he's Morgan Stanley.
It's a great one. But it's like, seriously though, it's I think that they'll conclude either way. And I think this is the best way to do it. I'm glad that we have a structure in place. I'm sure Bobby will agree also.
All right, let me catch up with the chat. I'll come back. You pick one player, we'll look at the players' numbers, and then we'll call it a day. Everyone is highlighting the video where Todd Bowley get asked, did you enjoy it's a result, and that could mean a lot. Roger, let me have you interpret that. What do you make of that response? Which means they're being concerned by now. To me, simply says they've been waiting for something to turn around, getting a positive result. What do you make of that response from him? I think that was a post bathroom. Why did I have to read that part?
That's funny. Listen,
but Roger, what do you make of that response? Really, on a serious note.
See, I'm not sure. Maybe he's a very results orientated person, and maybe he doesn't care how we win as long as we win. If we win ugly, maybe he's a type of owner that thinks, you know what, I like the way with which we win, or I don't know the chap. I can't say anything, but in all likelihood, he's probably more results orientated, coming from the States more than other things.
Because it's business. You can't.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. Even though people are saying, I don't think they intentionally don't want to fire this man. I think there's a lot involved in letting him go.
Sure.
First of all,
let's be honest.
It's going to be an expensive decision.
Sure. Let's be either way. Actually, let's be honest, Coach. These people that own Chelsea Football Club, they're not fans of the club. Not like their predecessor Roman. He was first and foremost a fan, second an owner. These chaps aren't fans. They have bought this for a business purpose to get a return on investment eventually. So they're looking at this purely and subjectively as a business, nothing else. Objectively,
so Roger,
sorry.
Can you answer this one? I'm going to go down. Just read it. Take it so I can go down and highlight. Let me just quickly I'll highlight this. I'll come back to it. I have some stuff down there. How is that possible? Former scout. Okay. Luigi Pellegrini, Potter had a full first 11 squad of injuries before that, so he shouldn't be blamed for. Yeah, we don't
To a
blame him for
certain
everything.
extent.
Potter
To a
should
certain
give part
extent.
of his salary to Fofana. Okay, don't tell him that. Bali is negotiating a new sponsorship deal with Don't do that to me, please. I don't like that. Here's Bobby cracking up there. The Morgan Stanley said.
Yeah.
Just quickly. Anything else here? Let's see. Again, I will sack Potter only for playing Havertz 90 minutes and for bringing on Gallagher on the pitch. I am sure if Mount was available, he would have actually started this game. Had Mount been available at IQ, he would start. Roger will back Potter even if Chelsea is relegated. Well, I don't think so. This one here, Bobby says, yeah, I wanted to get to this particular comment from Bobby, which says that the subtext of Ball's statement is, I am not impressed.
You would assume an inferred.
I think that's actually the most, you could say, most accurate interpretation. In my case, I did say something like to me, that shows, it could mean that too, shows they wanted result, and at least it's a result, even though he's not impressed with the result, but it's a result, it's acceptable. But so Bobby, now I think that's a perfect interpretation. I am not impressed with one, but I'm not impressed. What do you make of that?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with Bobby. I think that's probably, I mean, listen, I haven't seen the actual question and the entire answer without it being edited, but I think that's a fair assumption on how he inferred and interpreted that text. Indeed, you know, I think it's hard to argue otherwise what Bobby just said, or maybe
because it just sounds like that was exactly what the man meant.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to argue against that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is indeed hard to argue against that. This thing with Mbappe 2012, I'm coming. Winning is everything. They stand to lose a lot of money if we don't win. Yep. Most people must stop. I hate it when people say they just want to send out to. No, they know it's a huge problem if that happens. If we don't make it to the Champions League, they know. And I don't even agree. Before things started going downhill, that they were comfortable with us not making it into top four. No, I don't think so. But they have to look at the situation and say it's not really the manager's fault. That's how I see it that time. But I still believe we should be doing better than we've done. Wrong people. Luigi says Havertz bring a balance in the forward line, but I don't think he should be playing as a pivot there. That's just my argument. I know he's a fine player. I know he has more to offer. One of the things he's capable of doing that most people don't realize, don't give him enough credit for, is him picking up great passes. He's good at that, really.
Yeah.
He is very good at
link
that.
Up play.
Yeah, link-up play. I just Mount does that midfield, and that's why he always starts. The manager respects him. This one here, Roger, I wanted you to talk about this one from Eugene. This question, how does it happen that we cannot recognize Mbappe when he was 2012 in our camp? Yeah. Was he playing like the current Mbappe then? No, he was.
Coach, how old was he? 4?
I don't remember how old he was then, but the truth remains, Roger, he wasn't as good as he is right now then.
Yeah. It's 11 years ago.
Yeah, the truth remains, maybe there's a chance that rejection was what pushed him to become the Mbappe he is today.
Sure. Listen, you're looking at a player that was between 13 and 15 years of age then. So you can't, first of all, he hasn't physically matured. You know, I'm talking about his physical stature. And he's basically a boy, and I mean that really politely. So he hasn't reached his full physical height, his full physical mass. He hasn't attained his full physical speed, which he can accelerate. You can't base something and project someone at the age of 13 or 15.
You just cannot.
No.
You just cannot. And again,
not when you're a young teenager.
Yeah, and you can't get all the decisions with regards to picking players who stays at the academy. You cannot get all of them right. It's not because remember the Chelsea Academy, as big as it was then, we have so many players coming through trying to be part of the whole thing. So the chances of rejecting players who would go on and become one of the best in the world has always been high. So we cannot look back and start crying all the time that we missed out on a particular player. If that makes sense, I wouldn't go to that length of saying, look what we missed and all that. No, I'm not going to do that. Maybe Bali is not impressed because Potter didn't match Bali's starting 11 fantasy.
Yeah,
fantasy league. He must have something. 10 years. They can. I don't want to switch topics now. We're here to preview the game. Big up Pichila and Roger. Great result for us today. The win is a win. So I'd say a great result because we won, not because we played exceptionally well. So happy we won. However, the substitutes he made was strange. We went to a defensive again at home. Means Potter was scared at least could score. I was concerned too. And I have to be honest, I was concerned because it has repeated on so many occasions that there's no way, we didn't have the guarantee that it wasn't going to happen. And from how many times they had a few opportunities, they had a few clear-cut opportunities that had they scored, it would have been a repeat of a story that we've seen multiple occasions during the course of the season, if that makes sense. Yeah. But despite the way this one here, what are you saying? Don't joke with you. Where is that coming from?
I don't know.
He's excellent today, so he was good. Okay, good for you. You win that argument, please. We're talking about the match right now. It's against nature. Okay, could you let the club let Mbappe go because he was small, not because of his ability? Fine. Was there a way to tell that he was going to become the Mbappe he is today? No, I would still argue no.
It's not a science.
And exactly. It's not a science. It's not something, again. And here's the thing, more importantly, I'm going to repeat myself again. This is the Chelsea Academy we're talking about. Lots of kids want to be part of it. And the chances of us rejecting players who end up being big-name players in the future is huge because there are lots of them. You can't get the decisions right all the time, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to look back and start crying that we missed out on Mbappe. No, I would never do that. Then you're going to cry all your life because there are plenty of them. There's there's Musiala who now plays for Bayern and was also one of Germany's best players at the World Cup. There's Tino Livramento who had to leave and we had to let them go because had we not done that, he'd run down his contract and leave on a free. So you can't get the decisions right all the time. That's my argument. And please stop telling people don't joke with me. If it doesn't come across as insulting or as you being, I don't know how to phrase it. It does to some people, but to me, I'm fine, if that makes sense. So, but glad you brought it up, but we're here to review the Chelsea game, not really talk about Mbappe right now. Please stop switching topics. It drains the energy out of me. As much as I enjoy interacting with you, let's keep it to the game. A great show. I the Blues. Thank you so much, Lee. Nice to see you. Always nice to see you find time join the show. I appreciate that. Say it louder. Let's see what else we have here. He is still small. Only his neck grew. Please let's stop talking about Mbappe. He's a PSG player, if that makes sense. Mbappe is something different. He's an exceptional player, and we cannot sign him, whether you like it or not. That Monaco team was elite, but remember, Bakayoko was part of that team too.
I honestly, Coach, I thought when we signed him, because I watched about, I think, 6 of his games in the Champions League that year. They got to the semi-finals, remember, Monaco, and he looked an elite player. I thought when we got Bakayoko, I thought we were set for life. I'm so shocked he didn't materialize. I'm
not sure what happened. Maybe we'll talk about that on another show. But unfortunately, and he's still in our books actually. That's a concerning aspect of the whole thing. He's still in our books, and he's picking and choosing what club he wants to join. He hasn't allowed the club to decide for him. Yeah.
Did you get that last one from JC? Mbappe.
What did he say? Yeah. He says Mbappe, lads, get everything. That's
this is what Potter says.
Yeah. Just let him go. He's gone. Eugene, stop regretting Mbappe. He's gone. And we cannot be going backwards. We have bigger issues now. We cannot be going backwards. They can't get every decision right. This team has the depth. We should be in or around the top 4 position right now. Squad-wise, besides Man City, ours is the second best result. And like I've said, as much as, again, when I argued quite a lot, making excuses for Potter, maybe when I was one of Rodgers' biggest, you can say, witnesses. Whenever I critique Potter, I do talk about the fact that we had a village of injured players. We also had other situations that hasn't helped, but I think we should be doing better. That is as simple as that.
I disagree. We should be doing a lot better.
Exactly, a lot, but we should be doing a lot better than we're doing. So
you have to be objective.
That's the truth.
As much as I want to give any coach time, especially with this team, based on the ability, but on paper I'm talking about, based on these players, this team should be doing better. There's no doubt about it. You would have to be a cretin to argue otherwise, even when you calculate what the team has gone through in the last 12 months. And when I say team, I mean squad. You know what I'm saying? Am I disappointed? Very much so. Did I expect better? Yes, of course. But let's give him, my personal opinion, we should give him a bit more time and see what happens. But yeah, for you to say...
You remember when we were still, when you and I and most of the panelists were all argued that he should get it at least until the end of the season, then we'll have enough sample to judge him. That may well still be the case from the perspective of the club's hierarchy, but we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, Coach.
Yeah, we don't know. There's no telling what will happen. Let's get what else we have in the chat. So, Eugene, thank you so much for bringing up the Mbappe discussion. But yeah, it's not unnecessary right now. Switching topics doesn't help. It tires me out as much as I like interacting with you. Kachila, in those days, if you weren't big, you weren't good. Just look how Martinez at United, he was written off by the media because his size. Now in 2023, imagine. Yeah, here's the thing. For me, even in those days, I don't judge players by their size. I don't do that. I don't judge a player. I have never judged a player by that player's size. It doesn't matter to me. Your skill set, your footballing intelligence is what I value the most. And that was why I liked Juan Mata. That's why I liked Cesc Fabregas wasn't the biggest, but his most, you can say, pronounced attribute as a footballer is his vision, his passing ability and all that. The size doesn't really matter to me as a footballer. But modern football has made everybody realize it's not really about size, but sometimes it's important you mix it up, if that makes sense. Coach, is there any way we can get Potter a touchline ban for at least 4 games to give us the 9 points we need to reach 40 points? I don't know, and I'm not going to talk to you again. Glenn, a big up. Okay, just saying hello to Glenn right there. Big up, DJ. I hope you're doing well. Did I skip your comment? I think I read it. Big up, Kuchila. We won, however. Yeah, I did read that. So thank you for finding the time to join the show. Where am I right now? I want to get what we have in the chat so we can call it a day. We've been going for 2 hours and 36 minutes. Coach, this was second time when information about team came out 1 day before game. Someone reviewed before the game. Someone reviewed yesterday that Potter starting with a back 3. This is a very concerning. How is that possible?
Don't know.
Yeah, the players taking money from the media and giving them information, it's concerning, really. The leaks should stop happening. We must fight for first place in this overhyped league with overhyped teams. I think we must. And Eugene, much love to you, brother. I am afraid that this will shift everything to the Dortmund game, and that is different gravy. Here's the funny thing, Roger. We've been going for the past 6 games or so. We've been saying if he loses this one, he's gone. If he loses this one, he's gone. And the man is still here. And I can assure you, had we lost this game today, he'd still be here.
I think that's a safe assumption.
Yeah. Honestly, firing the man isn't that simple. Are we really paying attention? There are a multitude of reasons why it isn't easy. But one thing I have to say, we've gone beyond the level at which it has to do with their ego. They don't want people to see them as, okay, you fired Tuchel in a rush and you hired this you could say quirky manager that doesn't know what he's doing. That's me trying not to call him names because I'm not into name calling. But quirky isn't name calling really. It has to do with his ability to do his job right. So, but what I'm saying is this: we've gone beyond that is the point where it's not about their ego anymore. Yeah, I don't know if you agree with me on that, Roger. It's gone beyond the stage where they're reluctant to let him go because would say, you see, now you're accepting it. You made a mistake by firing Tuchel and hiring him. I think it's gone beyond that. I think they're looking at what makes sense now. What do you think, Roger?
I think that could be true. I think that could be very well true. It all depends, I have no idea. I haven't seen any interviews with any of them really, and they don't really do many interviews.
And the interviews won't reveal much.
No, they're keeping their cards close to their chest. I think what the lads have said previously over the last few weeks on the panel, it's probably true. They probably are, to a certain extent, doubling down. However, it's at what point do you have to admit when you're wrong, that you've made the wrong decision? That they have to be accountable and be honest within themselves. It also could be, I don't know, the politics involved in this, shall we say, conglomerate, because there's multiple parties involved in the ownership. It's not just one single individual. So how shall I put this? How does the power structure work? Are there many? Is it political behind the scenes there? I have no idea. So I hope their motives are noble and they put the team and the squad first, not their egos or their power play in jeopardy. It should be only the team comes first, and that's how they should look at it. They should look at whether to extend Potter's tenure or basically abruptly end it based on what is best for the club and nothing else.
Mm-hmm. And just quickly, Eugene, much respect. It's all love, brother. We all learn together. And let me know, did you attend? Were you at Fahim's show? I want to know. So do we assume now Potter's job is safe now? All the talk of him being under pressure is done. I don't think it's done.
Not even close.
Not even close. Even he yesterday during an interview said his job is not safe because the results are not coming. And it's a good thing that he recognized that. Which means he knows we should be doing better than we're doing right now. No, this game alone, no. He
DJ,
needs to. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, DJ. Even if we go through on Tuesday, let's say we win. Well, obviously we have to go through, or we win on penalties going through Tuesday. We make it to the quarters. His tenure is still under pressure. If we don't go through, whether we lose or draw, then his position becomes less tenuous. It becomes more in jeopardy. So, has he been given? Has he been given guarantees? Shall we say that your tenure as coach is to at least the end of the year? We don't know that, but I think he shouldn't take the foot off the gas, the proverbial gas. I think he should realize that he has to turn this vessel around because it's going in the wrong direction. A lot of it is maybe not his fault or out of his control, but he has to realize he has to steer this ship in the right direction, regardless of this Tuesday's result, in my opinion.
Yeah, Luigi defending himself. He's just being fair here, and it's nice to be fair. Glenn says, I can give you two ways of firing a man. I give him. I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to read that because this video will be demonetized.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm not reading that. I'm not reading that.
Part.
You're not going to get me into trouble.
That's the funny part of the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not reading anything from that one, really.
Oh my God, he sounds like The Beautiful Game, though, identical.
Yeah. Here's the thing. And he does this in a technical way. You start reading it, hoping to read all through without having a problem, and boom, he hits you. Look what he has there.
Uppercut,
You did not to say Ziyech is the most. Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're saying. And Kimso says Arsenal are going to win the league. I don't think they will win. It's really tight now, isn't it? It's tightened up, right?
5 points. You know what?
Yeah, and with how many games to go?
15.
Yeah, I don't think they win. I don't think they still win it. But the one thing is certain, I think they will remain in top 4. They will get Champions League football, that's for sure. Ziyech is the man, really. Okay, Ziyech did nothing. You guys should slug it out. There's always a moody a player, very bad for the dressing room. That's some accusation right there. The guy wanted to leave, and when that doesn't happen, he's a human being. There's a chance he's still... Here's the thing, even though Graham Potter started him just a few days after his proposed move to PSG fell through, which we all didn't like that because we felt it was a risk. He's a human being. Such a huge move fell through, and you looked at that person, that individual, and felt like they're still being in the right frame of mind to participate in the game and
feel for him,
do well. Sorry?
You have to feel for him.
Yeah, I feel for him. I do feel for him, but I don't think he should have started that game, really. Respect to Arsenal, but they cannot win Champions League. They cannot win even the Premier League this season, I think so. So this is embarrassing that they are first. Chelsea, Liverpool, even the City is not the best. Yeah, but they have the team spirit. They have the togetherness. They don't have the biggest squad. But what they have is the spirit and the togetherness that whoever comes in, even if that person is still 16, they play like they've been playing with the team for a million years. Look at the guy that scored the winning goal for them today. I've forgotten his name. A youngster, too. You just like him because he's a Lampard guy, but does nothing on the pitch. Okay, I'm not going to get into that fight. What else we have here? When Zidane comes, Ziyech will be the first to leave. I can bet you that. But do you think Zidane is coming? I don't think Zidane is coming. I don't think so. I have a myriad of reasons. I don't think he's the right guy for the job. I'd rather lose Enrique. I'd rather, who else we talked about extensively in the morning, Hansi Flick. He's one manager. I don't know how he did it, but he was able to mix pragmatism and good football, which is very rare.
I take him over virtually most other coaches.
Yeah, so. Because of these two things I just talked about right now, pragmatism and also beautiful football. How he was able to do it, I don't know, really. But that's, by the way, it says yes. He says, yes, I was, but okay, wasn't fine. Okay, you went for him, sure. Okay, good to know. Arsenal one season wonders. Let's see what they do. Apologies, guys. I'm going to have to scroll to the very bottom because we want to round off soon. Zidane won't entertain a lazy, sluggish player. I think he's, in terms of from a discipline, from that perspective, I think if you're not disciplined enough, he put you out of the team one time. So Ziyech and James will have to raise their levels up. Yeah, I think so too. Cheers, bro. More, let's say, what else do we have here? There are pictures showing Azizi is in London. I've seen a few of that, but but probably because he's being linked with the Chelsea job. So when people see them, they assume he's there to for discussions with the owners of the club, if that makes sense. Ziyech is playing because Potter allowed him to stay. Otherwise, he should be at PSG right now. I'm not sure what happened. Safety first. Yep. And joining us, Zidane will want the perfect players, not average players. That's the truth. I think he'll be selective. He's a galactical type of manager. I am sure Potter will survive relegation. Really? COVID-19? Okay. Please don't do this to me. Please, I haven't mentioned the forbidden word. I hope they don't demonetize it or shadow ban this channel. Please, let's be careful what we're saying. Be funny, but be careful what we're mentioning. I will let you in on a secret. No certain I bring that back. Oh, and even I like what on earth is that? Yeah. But I honestly do want Hazard back at Chelsea right now. He'd make a difference for his
Really?
He's experienced. Yeah, I want him. He's experienced. But here's the thing: I don't think the club will take him because if they win anything, they win. As
We
long as
get
he's part
money.
of the squad, we get money.
Yeah.
So why bring him back? It wouldn't make any sort of sense if we do that. Yeah, the kid that scored, right? Nelson is his name. Thank you so much, Eugene Naughty, for saying that. Ziyech is bad more than 1 year. How you can feel sorry for him from a human perspective, really. The UEFA Champions League is really our last hope.
Yeah.
Yep, Kinzo, I hope we'll win it. The possibility is there. I think that it's old picture of Zidane in London. That's very possible. People just want clicks, and they can do anything to get that. Potter needs Ogorogo. Is that Ogogoro? Yeah, that's Ogogoro.
What is
Ogogoro is
that?
a Nigerian. Yeah, it's a Nigerian drink. More like whiskey,
Okay.
but local made. Not.
Gotcha. Not Scottish.
Yeah, that's Ogogoro. That's why he spelled there. Man is so dull. Well, that's his demeanor, and I don't think he would change for anything.
He's not going to win any charismatic awards, is he?
Oh no, he will not.
No.
He will not. He's not the most. You can say. He's not the. What was the term I used for him? He's not a good orator. Maybe I don't know if that's the right term.
That's not orator. He lacks charisma. He's not media savvy, shall we say? But he's cerebral. He's calm in everything.
Yeah, media savvy. I think that's the better term.
Yeah, but it's the one thing I like about him is he seems authentic, which I like. But
oh yeah, and he said he's not going to change. He's not going to stop being fake just to please people, and I like that.
Sure, yeah.
But I think it may do him a world of good to start being more vocal on the touchline, because that can actually sway the decision of the officials sometimes.
Well,
sometimes they will fear. Sometimes they will fear to make certain decisions subconsciously. It's a human thing, really.
Yeah.
And he has lots of young players, so he needs to be doing a lot of talking on the touchline, because these players, they need a lot of coaching. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
You know what, Coach? If the pressure really does get to him, and it should have already, really, you may see him lose it a bit authentically, if he's feeling the pressure. And maybe that will ignite a spark. I don't know. But he shows, he doesn't display any, shall we say, moodiness. He doesn't exhibit any characteristics of a temper whatsoever so far. No emotions. That could be a good thing. It could be detrimental. I don't know.
Yeah, this year whiskey. I'm gonna need me one. I'm gonna need me some Ogogoro. I think I don't like it, but I don't think, because it's locally made, I don't think it's properly distilled, and I don't trust the vendors on the streets. But yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that. Yeah, and you know their selling point, Roger? It cleans the heart.
Seriously?
Yep.
That's funny. That's a good one.
The only way we can win the UEFA Champions League, and he must be a professional and accept his role from bench if coach decides that, and not acting toxic. Yeah, maybe. Kim, so yeah, leave Jesse out of this topic, please. He doesn't play football. He has other duties to give all the situations to take care of. He has contract. Yep, I think we should be rounded up soon if we talk about this on the screen. And the tax office will come for your head at Blue Chelsea. Yeah, let's see what happens. I feel for the players, guys, tomorrow they will be hypnotized, and they start to say the gaffer is an excellent coach. Well, was it that bro yesterday who said Kukurea probably starts because he was promoting the manager's
process.
Yeah, process, trust the process. But maybe he may well start the Champions League game. So his promotions probably will still get him a chance. Ogogoro in the players' water bottle is the way on the low, of course. Yeah.
On the low.
Without letting them know Don't do that. I think they will go for a test after the game, and they'll all get banned. Juju drink. Not a juju drink. I want to say juju drink, but it's very powerful, really. Looks like I need to visit southern Nigeria, maybe even northern area. Here's the thing, actually, I think the main alcohol is distilled in the northern area. Yep. If I were a Chelsea, I will wear a Chelsea top so they know. For the just go away, Glenn. It will clean spotters' heart of losing, maybe. Brighton is our illegitimate son, maybe. They will see I've been through enough, and not do more to you. I've seen Havertz doing a lot of talking to the referee. He sticks up for the team, and that's maturity. He's maturing as a player. A future German coach, in my eyes. Here's the thing: he's an intelligent player, but I don't think we'll see the best of him if we keep playing him as a number 9. But that's by the way, Roger. This one on the screen, the feeling, and that's quoting Fabrizio Romano, is that there's a real chance that Mason Mount could leave at Chelsea at the end of the season. That's not shocking to me. You remember how many times I've said here, the lesser he has on his contract, the more the possibility that he leaves the club, and we're getting there because at one point the club they're not gonna be able to offer him what he'd look at and say, if I go somewhere else, would I get less or more? Probably more somewhere else, and probably wouldn't want to be on a long-term contract at Chelsea now. Well, like we've heard some say, the length of the contract is the issue. But your thoughts, so that we can call it a day.
Yeah, that's what I've heard also. I've heard that it's not so much the money, it's the term of the contract, the length.
Mm-hmm.
He wants more control of his career. I don't think he wants more than a 4-year contract or a 5, but that they want a 6+. So, I mean, I get it. I see both sides of the coin, obviously.
But making an exception wouldn't make any sort of sense. You're creating a problem because you're going to make others seem like they're stupid to have accepted a long-term contract from you.
Not so much that, but there's pros and cons to that. Obviously, there's pros and cons, and it depends on the details. The devil is always in the details, coach, in any contract. Mm-hmm. But I get it. Why make an exception? Listen, how old is he? He's 24-ish. So, I mean, I get his reasoning. Because your body is your office. I mean, depending on the details, he could be set for life if he has a longer term deal. God forbid if he has an injury or whatever. But it could be heavily laden with incentives, which it in all likelihood is. So, I'm more worried about his advisors. Who's advising him? Do they have their best interests at heart, etc.?
Yeah, it's business for all parties involved. He wants more money. He wants, like you mentioned, he wants control of his future. Probably doesn't want to be tied down with on a 7-year contract plus or even 6 years. So it's business for all parties involved, and if it doesn't work out, he walks.
Well, and I know now they can't, they can't amateurize it any further than 5 years. You can have a 7-year contract, but the actual legal amateurization of the contract only can go as far as 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, due to the new UEFA rules. So, okay, so they do that. I don't know. I haven't heard what length he wants, but I did read a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was, that the sticking point was the actual term of the contract. So, listen, and I believe that they said that they don't wish to actually open negotiations until the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me correctly. And if that's the case, then let him concentrate on football in case that this negotiations has been a distraction to him. That may be the best for all parties concerned. Listen, he has to produce on the field, which he has, for all intents and purposes, not done thus far, to a good level or to a higher level that with which we've been accustomed to. So therefore, I don't see a problem in them halting negotiations. Would I be sad if he leaves? Yeah, I would be. I would like him to stay because he's a homegrown kid.
I wouldn't want him to stay. Why? Because Graham Potter seems he's fallen in line from the perspective of doing what every other coach has done in England, because the only time he was coached properly was during his loan spell in the Dutch league. And in England, it has always been about the amount of running he's done. I think he can reach a higher level. He's a technically gifted player, but he hasn't been coached very well. So I would like him to go somewhere else. Maybe the manager realizes he needs more coaching than just, you know, you can
Don't
say,
you think Frank taught him
not
a lot,
looking
though?
beyond his industry. Sorry?
Don't you think when he went to Derby, I thought Frank, because of the
probably
position,
lots of running. And he got worse after the Champions League win, because even himself, there's a chance he subconsciously feels like he's all right. There's nothing to learn.
Sure, complacency. I get it.
Complacency.
You're right.
And he's still young in the player. So he needs to go to a place where the manager will start looking beyond his industry. Because clearly, Roger, I know we've talked about this before, Thomas Tuchel especially played him until at the point where it became clear that he was mentally tired. And it's the sort of player, if you have him on the pitch, even when he's mentally tired, he still run 120 minutes. The only thing that will show you that he's not really him is his final decision making.
It catches
Tuchel,
up, right?
Yeah, it didn't look like Tuchel coached him a lot. Tuchel just liked the way he presses and does a lot of running for him. I think that's what he valued the most.
Yeah.
So I feel for him. Out of me now, for me, I'm not trying to be selfish. I want him to become a better player.
I get it.
And I don't think on the ground, Potter, that will happen, because Potter sounds like he's playing him because he just wants to play, and probably because of the running he does. And whenever he's on the pitch on the ground, Potter, it's a lot of running too.
Do you think he will excel at Liverpool?
Yeah, probably with a lot of running too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
hope he does well, whatever happens. If he stays, I take him because he's a player that you always get a commitment from him. That's sure. That Ogogoro is our next shirt sponsor. Okay. Besides the best-selling Ogogoro brand is called Chelsea Jean. And this is not a lie.
Really?
It's not joking, really. He's not joking. That's the truth. In Nigeria, yeah. Original Ogogoro is from south, the Niger Delta area. Okay, yep. Nigerians are telling me where. I thought there's one that that's been sold in the market. With again, but we're not here to talk about that. Maybe another day. In northern Nigeria, that's the strongest really I've seen. Imagine, guys, the players after drinking the juju drink. Potter is the best coach in the world. He will take us to the promised land, and he will, he will win everything. But but it's a palm wine, palm drilled. It's a palm. Ogogoro is not palm wine. Palm wine is different. Ogogoro is very different, really. Ogogoro is distilled. Palm wine is distilled. No, it's fresh. The way it is natural. Some people do add some stuff just to get more quantity. We have it at our own Kenyan coastal region. Okay, Luigi Pellegrino, and it's good. Yep. Jameson, drink. Oh, now everybody promoted the drink. Is this why he's been playing badly? I'm not sure. Please, we're going to end the show. We've been streaming for 3 hours now. Roger's got to go get a rest. We're not doing Blue Morning Show. It's a Sunday. I've said I'm going to stop so that to always have a day break after 6 days of consistent streaming. It can be exhausting because I wake up 2 a.m. for the Blue Morning Show.
Wow.
What that means, kid, okay. Let's say Liverpool wants to sign 3 new midfielders this season. Mason Mount is one of them. We need to thread carefully with Mason Mount. Klopp will improve him. Do you think? Okay. I'd like him to go where he will improve, even if it means Klopp. I don't care, really. Will be one of the best midfielders. Maybe if the coaching started earlier. I remember when Messi picked him as one of the upcoming best players in the world. I remember that. But no, I think let's see what happens. Mount obviously missed the class where Frank was a team, the infamous long and short passing and late arrival in the box. Valley, how far the puffer? He huffs and he puffs. Wow, some funny people in the chat. Potter ball and whatever. Chelsea has reached the starting point. You think? Okay, I hope to see that. Tuchel give Mount a free roll. You could argue that too. Mount replacing Henderson or Milner is so attractive. Not okay. Okay.
Exactly.
He's an equivalent to Phil Foden. No. As much as I think Mount is a good player, Phil Foden is a much better.
Did you see Foden's goal today?
A much better technical gifted. Again, he's more technical gifted than Mount, if that makes sense. Yeah, by far, honestly. And even though I like Mount, this is the reason why Liverpool cannot win trophies every season. Transfer politics. Club is not. He's never. I would drive Mount to Liverpool myself for free. His form has been dire. Yep, but I wouldn't lose him because of his form. I have other reasons. Right now, the whole thing comes down to whether he agrees a new contract at Chelsea or not. So, Roger, your final thoughts so we can call it a day, and I appreciate you staying until now.
Yeah, no problem. Good game and disappointing game all at the same time. I was disappointed with the way we didn't maintain possession, and we showed, shall we say, a lack of maturity in the latter half of the second half. First half, especially the first 30 minutes, I was very pleased with, other than a lack of being clinical, of course. The average performance overall, let's be honest here, against the team that cannot be mistaken for a Champions League winner. Let's be polite here and honest. So you have to put that in perspective and honestly understand who we were playing against. It was average.
I have to agree with you on this one. Foden is an excellent talent. How I would like to have him at the club. Mount is better than Foden. Well, that's you. The difference is Foden is lucky enough to be coached by a proper coach. No.
Foden is the best player.
I think the difference for me, in my opinion, is as clear as light and day. Foden is the more technically gifted of the two. Mount is the more industrious of the two.
Completely different players, by the way.
Yeah, the two different profile of players. Yeah. What you can get from Mount, you cannot get from Foden. Foden will not be as good as Mount is in terms of pressing and the amount of running he does on the pitch. But Mount isn't as technical as Foden, no matter what you argue.
Exactly.
Foden is something different, one of rare good English players. What a good argument that is. Roger used to say he's as good as a Spanish player, really. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't know anything about him, let's say you see him playing, you'd be mistaken for him being either Spanish or Portuguese.
Yeah, I would say either of the two countries. He's a good talent, really. Let me just not start saying he's better. Let me just say he's different from Mason Mount and the more technical gifted of the two. So let's forget about the comparison. Honestly, was at the match. We should have killed the game in the first three great opportunities we had from Havertz, Felix, and Fofana. Even there was a time Ben Chilwell had a chance to, but he missed it. He huffs and puffs and farts on the sideline, still lacking in-game management. Wow, Valley, be nice. Foden footballing IQ is the difference. You could argue that too. He's an intelligent player
and his
too.
First touch.
Yeah, and well coached at a very young age, and that's what Mount didn't have really. I cannot remember when England has players like Foden. Honestly, he's an excellent player. Good night, Coach, and Rogers. Have a good sleep. You too, Luigi Pellegrini. See you next time. No Blue Morning show tomorrow, but we will have an evening show tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about. It depends on what goes on during the day. Then we'll talk about that. Coachella, the show is still on. Yes, but we're calling the day right now. It's Saturday, so it's not like during the Blue Morning show where usually I'm in a hurry to go take my son to school.
Here, mate.
God, Chief, bring the drinks. I beg, bring one drink. Make I go house, go do something else. But that's important. Foden is something different. This kind of player. Roger, you were saying something. Let's call it a day, brother.
Yeah, it's Sunday here. Just turned midnight.
Oh, it's Sunday already for you. Yep. So sorry for keeping you that long, brother.
Don't worry. My pleasure.
Yeah, with that, people, we've come to the end of the show, and I cannot thank you guys enough for finding the time to join the show. Chama, I am too. But nice to see you. Eugene, always contributing. Lusala, thank you so much. Foden, anyway, why is Foden in the conversation? Somebody in the chat talked about it. That's why We had to talk about him. I ordered dinner. Okay, yeah, please eat something. Eugene, thank you so much for always being part of the conversation. Vali, you too. Lucilla, you too. A lot of people went to chat. Luigi Pellegrini, DJ Saab, my bro. Much love to you, brother. Again,
Yeah,
I love you so
DJ.
much. I cannot thank you enough. Who else did I miss? Anybody? The beautiful game. Big up, brother. And everyone else, if I missed your name, apologies. Glenn. And my brother, Adebayo, and also my other brother, Liam Lane, who's probably watching. I miss you, brother. I think someone else did I miss your name. If I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Good night, Coach.
Good night, brother.